All right. We got Dan, the great cure. Wait a minute. You're not Dan. All right, rise and shine, everyone. This is Merleworld Card Time, and tonight we have a special Merleworld card / Between Two Slabs while Dan, the great curator, is away in Japan. We've got Greg Rivera of Greg, is it Mishka? Is that correct? And
Yes.
Greg's Fun Shop.
Yes.
I think you're like bipolar or something because you have like 6 profiles on Instagram, and I never know who to tag for you. I mean, you work for G.A.S trading cards too. You do everything. I mean, you have like 20 profiles, so I never know which one. I guess it depends on what hobby it is, correct?
Yeah, because sorry.
It's okay. We're all guys here.
So Greg Mishka kind of was like started as my personal business for the Mishka brand. And sort of like my persona with the brand as a founder. Then Greg's Fun Shop became sort of my business, my collecting to dealing business. And so then I wanted to like give it a, make it a proper business. And so like Greg's Fun Shop is like the stuff I sell on eBay or in person. And then, G.A.S is a brand that I co-founded. And yeah, but I do have like 6 profiles or something.
Now, the reason Greg is on here, guys, I know you've seen him a couple of times be a celebrity co-host for me while Curator's gone on Between Two Slabs. But I know Dan also gives himself credit, which I'll give him some credit for getting me into the type photo world. But it's also Greg who got me into the oddball photo world. Whereas more of like the pop culture stuff, more than just the sports and like the super mainstream, like stuff I love. He also loves music like I do. We're probably going to do another live stream, probably on music memorabilia one day, because I know he's got some stuff slabbed. So he's also got me that bug as well, which I have now. He doesn't know that I've sent a bunch of stuff to AMG to get slabbed and graded. I mean, I've got cassette tape. I even found a demo of Tupac's a Tupac demo, rap demo from '92 that I'm
nice.
It's just basically a blank, not a blank. It's actually it's real. Sorry, it's a real commercial tape, but it says Ice Cube with Tupac 1992, but it's just a cassette. It's not even in a case.
Do you ever think like that's like in 150 years, right? Like, there's going to be a treasure hunting video on Facebook, and it's like someone's going to find your Tupac demo tape.
I know, right? But the good thing is it's legit though. It's not like he made it on a cassette tape or something like in a reel-to-reel
that's sick, man.
record, but it's real because it also has Ice Cube. So it has all the credits and everything.
Well,
but it's just a blank. It's just a not blank. Keep saying blank. It's a black cassette, no case, and I'm just going to get that slabbed.
I mean, it's a relic. I mean, that's what it is at this point. It's like you see a column in a museum on its own. It was used at one point potentially to hold up a building, but now it's just what remains. It's just the relic, or it's and we grew up on tape. I had a. Yeah, I mean, I'm a little young. You probably grew up on the 8 tracks. You probably had an 8-track in your car.
Yes, you do. And I saw there's at your office, you had an 8-track too. You have one that was slabbed of the Sex Pistols. Never mind the Bullocks. That was an 8-track, still sealed. I was very impressed with that item. Of all the items, of the 1,000 items in your office, that one like drew my attention.
Yeah, that's a tough 8-track in general. I mean, because
imagine.
If you're an 8-track collector, or you're not, and you can imagine, the transition from 8-track to vinyl, and then you think about punk, and you're like, wait, like you're like there's this weird crossover, and there's nothing more punk than that album. So if you find that just on its own, but to find one sealed and then get it slabbed, graded, whatever, it's cool. That's what it's about, right?
So anyway, Greg is one of my partners. He shows me how he inspires me. He motivates me. He's always texting me every single day, showing me his new finds of the day, which I'm up to my nipples in jealousy. I will admit, he knows it, but he knows that just pushes me to go find stuff too. So I show him because I want him to be proud of me. That's why I have him on the show tonight. So we're going to discuss. This is going to be pretty laid back. It's Friday night. I'm sure everybody's preparing either for Final Four tomorrow or for WrestleMania this weekend, myself included. This is all going to be about type photos because Greg and I have been talking a lot because people really aren't educated about type photos. A lot of people just don't know. They wonder, like, why am I going to spend $500 to $1,000 on a photo? I understand cards. I see there's a pop count on cards. I can, see the comp prices. I understand it. But a photo pretty much is almost having a low numbered, if not a 1 of 1 or a superfractor or something, because first of all, there's no pop count and you're lucky to find a duplicate photo of that same photo. To me, I don't know about you, Greg, but that's how I see things. I've only been in the photo world, hobby world, for about a year now, but I'm not seeing duplicates. And then when I read it, I find out, especially with like the Mantles, stuff that gets a lot of press and publicity, like the Mantles or the Jordans, they usually only say there's less than a handful, maybe 2 or 3 of these photos. And I tried to tell people, I think that's the way it is because you got to think about it. That professional photographer who's probably working for a magazine, or the press, newspapers, or all the above, that's how they get paid. They're probably taking those photos at the concert or at the ball game, and they go home and they develop them right away at their home, which is, they're like cooking, like making a cake in your darkroom. They have, the right tools to make 1,000 photos. They're probably only making a test one, and then another one to send to through Wirepress or to the publication so they can publish it within the next week or two because it has to be topical. Am I correct, Greg?
Yeah, yes. You said a lot there. But yeah, to your point about the process of kind of how the photo works. Like here's one step back, right? So
okay.
I'll 2 steps back. So I'm, as a lot of people don't know that I collect a lot of different things. I have I have a very varied, collecting habits, and photos has been something that has been more of an interest for me of late, like in the past probably like 5 to 6 years, like, and especially like, the vernacular or like snapshot photos. So,
right.
And old, like, it's funny because I always kind of would, to me, when I would see a type 1, I would call it like a press photo or a wire photo or newspaper photo, or a photographer. It wasn't really as, but it was always trying to get an original print because the original was directly from the photographer, which is like what makes it the, as special as it is, because it was done in the hand of the photographer. And then, that's where that's where the value came even before, sort of the idea caught on, especially for people to start sending more like pop culture stuff. Because actually, like, my friend, mentor, partner in G.A.S, Simeon Littman, he's kind of the one who introduced me to doing the type 1 photo.
And how long ago was that?
This was probably about 3 years ago, like 3 or like probably like kind of during the pandemic, like 2020, because
okay, so pretty new to you then.
Yes. Well, yeah. Well, I mean, 4 years.
That's not long. I'm thinking maybe like 20 or something. I had no clue.
Oh, no. I mean, I knew that they did. Okay. I knew that they did sports photos, but I didn't, and I don't know how long they've been doing them, but I wasn't really,
I think 20 years.
But, for me, it's like when I would go to a show, and see that and be like, oh, it's another like Joe DiMaggio photo, right? Like I mean, no offense to Joe DiMaggio. I mean, it'd be nice, but it's like it's not really it's not what's drawing me to the card show. You know, I'm looking for the non-sport stuff. I'm looking for the weirdo stuff. Or
even then you were.
Even then, yeah, looking
Yes.
for the weirdo sports stuff. So for me, it wasn't like until Simeon was like, oh no, you can send whatever, like you can send snapshots. It actually started because he had this amazing Polaroid and he wanted to get it authenticated. And I thought that was so cool because, you know, I collect Polaroids. I like collect signed Polaroids. I collect, you know, snapshot photos. And so, you know, some of my favorite photos I've gotten slabbed because it captures it in that case. And, you know, it really, you know, sometimes that a picture can speak 1,000 words really is true. And it's like you want to show somebody like, hey, check out this photo. Look at the contrast. Look at this. Look how sharp the photographer got this, or look at this, or look at that. But you don't. But it's a piece of paper that's to survive. It's ephemera. It was ephemeral. It wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not gonna last forever. But in this case, it's. And I'm kind of coming from a place where I'm trying to explain this to photo collectors that don't get what this is. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like there's it's kind of like with the record grading, like how there's so many people in the record business that are like, why are they grading records? Why are they grading tapes? That's so stupid. Even though all these guys have always had a customer for mint sealed relics. Now,
right.
Some people, you know, a purist would try to argue with you and say, oh, well, I buy a brand new, I want a mint copy because I want a mint record. Well, you know, this is some nerd shit, but according to Goldmine, for 40 years, a sealed record can never be considered a mint record because you don't know the condition. You know, like, I mean, even if there's like a minute chance that a little pebble got in there and moved around, you know what I mean? And so,
yeah.
You know, you're preserving a relic for the future, you know, that you just, and the great thing about the photos is the photos tell the story. So anyways,
true. And that's what we're going to discuss tonight.
Now,
I
was going to say, sorry.
No. Okay.
No, go ahead. Go.
No, you go first. Go first.
Well, I was going to I want you to talk about what you showed me right before we went live, which is a very special piece. And it's also a nod because this person that you have received a signed letter with a certified PSA DNA.
Oh yeah.
But also explain what he is to the hobby and to what we're talking about tonight.
Yeah, it's like people don't know, and I think that's what we're going to discuss, and I'll actually show you some examples tonight. Greg, and the reason Greg and I are doing this live stream tonight is mostly to educate you all. And if you're one of the lucky few who's watching this show tonight on this live stream, you're going to get a lot of information tonight and learn more about type photos than you ever will, believe me, because apparently I know a lot, which I didn't know. And I know Greg knows because I learned from this guy. So all my knowledge and even more is because of the great curator and you and the guys at PSA. And people don't know, which we'll also talk about. And like I said, I'll show you examples. You can't just go and grab any photo that you see on eBay or at a store or anywhere and send it off to PSA and get it authenticated and then sell it for 10 times more than what you paid for. And even if it's a real photo, it's the same way, because like Greg just said, the most important thing, it has to tell a story. It can't be just some boring photo. It can't be just some random photo of Michael Jordan walking into the restroom or something. I mean, that could be unique. It could tell maybe if it was a cool story, maybe it was a shot of him at the urinal, maybe. I don't know. But it can't just be some just trivial photo or a snapshot. it's got to like tell a good story. It's got to be something, you know, they say a picture tells 1,000 words. And that's why in the thumbnail on IG, I used The Cure's pictures of you, because I think they use that in a national commercial. And that's what it's all about, because a picture tells 1,000 words. And anyway, when I was doing some videos the other night for my Instagram feed about my PSA Type 1 photo reveal, that I had several photos that got rejected, and they will still charge you for it unless the photo just doesn't have enough DNA on there to give them any type of specifics, basically. They might not be able to tell the year or whatever, and from that case, they will refund you the money. But if it's some crappy reprint or something, they're going to charge you, just like a fake auto or something.
Right, yeah.
Is that me?
Well, that's
that? So anyway, I want to show you this picture. Picture. It's not a picture. I thought it was a photo, and when I was getting everything organized before Greg came on, I discovered this. I posted it right away on Instagram, because this is what the hobby's all about. It's not about just making money. It's about, you know, getting that nod, you know, that acceptance from other people that are that you think highly of in this hobby as well. And I was like, wait a minute, this is a letter. I thought it was just them like, Merlin, we're sick of you and all your submissions, all your weird submissions, and tell that Greg too to quit submitting to us. But it wasn't that, Greg. This is from Henry Yee. And he even put the hologram, so we know it's authentic.
Yeah, that is so hard.
And he used my first name because, you know, on the when I do the forms, I fill out my first name. But he still knew it was me, Merlin, because it says Merleworld Cards. He watches it, and it says, "I've enjoyed your YouTube channel. Keep up the good work. Best regards, Henry Yee," who's the head of the photo DNA department at PSA in New Jersey. So, Henry, if you're watching this, thank you so much. I don't know what your Instagram is. If you could hit me up so I can either tag you or just know your handle so we can communicate sometime and just say hello. But thank you for all you're doing. I'm probably giving you way too much work now because I'm telling people to send in things to you. So you may have to hire more people. If you were over on the West Coast, maybe Greg and I could help, but New Jersey's a little too far for us. But thank you. This is what it's all about. This motivates me to do more videos and do more shit with Greg. So if you're the 11 people watching right now, you're going to learn a lot. So I got the acceptance from the top dog, man. The top dog.
Yeah, dude, that's a very important piece. And Mr. Yee is an important man. And he's one of those, like, they'll make a movie about him one day.
Oh, you think so? Why is that?
I mean, I don't know. He created a category that that needs to exist. I mean, look, one thing I was thinking about while you were talking, you know, it's like next time someone goes to a show, right? Like, especially like the National, look for that like old timer, you know, that you look and like everything in their booth is like brown and
oh god,
it's like all old photos. But what you find
and it smells like an old man's basement.
No. It's that this is the original sports cards were photographs. You know, the original presidential cards were photographs. You know, so like people like I'll buy an old like album like from the Civil War era, right? Of like CDVs, so like carte de visites. And
what's it called again, Greg?
It's called a carte de visite. It's a smaller size card. It's about this big. Sorry, it's like 3 by 5. And what
is that the ones that look like it's like a sketch, but it's really a photo?
Well, they did release some as sketches. Like, for instance, you know, let's say during the Civil War, you know, maybe you don't have enough family members to fill in the whole album. So that what they would sell you are these little illustrations of like Abraham Lincoln or George Washington.
Okay.
And so, so sometimes they would just be sketches, or other times they would be what we would call probably sometimes a type 2, but most of the time a type 3 photo, because sometimes you'd find a CDV, let's say, of a photo of President Lincoln that it could be from Civil War era, but it was probably made like a year later or even months later
Mm-hmm.
from another print that someone else got from somebody else. You know what I mean?
Right,
So
right.
it's an important part of like not only photography for history, it's an important part of sports and pop culture memorabilia history, because the photo is what really started the what people consider the first cards, you know, whether it's an actual photo, which in a lot of cases it was, like, you know, like even like what is it, 1887 old Judge. I mean, that's essentially a a type, probably like a type 2 photo on the card
Okay.
of the baseball player. So it's kind of amazing. It's actually kind of amazing that
That's still like
then,
150 years old.
right. So, you know, like to preserve photography and you know, when someone chooses to slab something, right, it takes it to another level, you know, and whatever that
Right.
level is, whether it's to protect it or whether it's an investment, you're doing something to it that there's only a finite amount of time that's been being done in the world that we live in, and that's
Mm-hmm.
encapsulating these things in the hopes that in the future they become currency, which they have.
Oh,
And so
wow.
if you think about it that way too, with type 1 photos and these type of images that are, they're captured moments in time, you're buying the, you know, like it doesn't like think about like who your like favorite photographer is in the world, right?
Mhm.
Like Annie Leibovitz, or like,
Yes, I was gonna
you
say
know,
her.
Diane Arbus, or like uh
Neil
Gregory
Preston.
Crutzen, Neil Preston. It's like you love their photography, right? Because the photograph tells like such a story, right? But you know, sports, and I think people, you know, I think that the thing with sports and the reason that sports kind of, you know, obviously was very much the beginning of this part of the hobby is that, you know, a sports photographer, and I don't know this to be true from experience, but I can only imagine just from what I know about film and camera work that, you know, to be able to get sometimes that, to capture that moment, right? Like back in the like somebody sliding into a base in like the 1950s, you know, or the 1940s, or you know, like a beautiful studio photographer of a movie star from the 1920s. You know, these people are much less known artists, but are very much masters of their craft. And so whether the photographer is named or not named, the idea of the type 1 being an original print, an original masterpiece of that artist, then capturing a moment that intrigues you, whether it's, you know, Michael Jordan dunking, Babe Ruth hitting a home run, or, you know, uh, 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 an atomic
Not
bomb
Ali
test
knocking people down.
explosion.
Okay, yeah.
Well, that's, I mean, that's a little bit different because that's not sports. Yeah, I was trying to think of another. I was
Are
thinking
you
about
thinking of
another.
sports or non-sports?
Well, photographers are artists as it is. I mean, it's very much. I
Yeah,
mean,
or
it's,
imagine like Muhammad Ali just like, you know, TKOing someone, like his glove against someone's face.
look, man. Photography is an art. It's a craft,
It
and
is.
it's something that you continually work to get better and better at. It's something that can be mastered for eternity, and you know, it's like, you know, to be able to use that medium to catch a moment in time is what you're collecting when you collect a photograph. And so, but you're, you know, and then, but you know, but it doesn't have to, also doesn't have to be that deep, right? It could just
Mhm.
be a sick photo of, you know, Tupac with a bunch of, you know, in a bath, in a hot tub with chicks. I don't know. Not that I have that, but I'm just saying you could
Right,
slab it.
because I mean, anyone who knows, like when you used to read Rolling Stone, they were known for not just their articles, almost like let's say like Playboy, but they were known for their photography too, for their concert or rock photography. And it's some
Yep.
legendary stuff there. To find that stuff again is classic.
photographers are artists in any
Yes.
field. Like people do. I mean, you can call an amateur photographer just like you can call someone a folk artist, right? But most photographers are people that have studied a craft that they choose to excel at and choose to capture a moment. So, you really are buying art. I don't know. Kind of what
Yeah,
you're
and
saying.
it was just
Just
like,
like,
I mean, I work in film. I'm sure you have also worked in the entertainment industry too.
right,
But if you think about it, film is pretty much a 35 millimeter film, 24 seconds. And not 24 frames per second.
right.
And that creates emotion. So these are just stills. Photography came first, and you create a story from that photograph. And then from that photograph, they end up just, inventing filmmaking. And now it's a whole different level now. But the thing is now, though, you don't have real 35 millimeter film anymore. I mean, you still do, but no, most people now use digital.
Well,
And we'll
dude,
have
like
to discuss that later.
we're also both, you and I are also from a generation that is was part of something that's not existing anymore. It's slowly ceasing to exist. And that's like when we were kids, right? Like anytime we went over our family's house, we'd always be pulling out their photo albums and sitting on the floor and being like, "Oh, look, this is when we did this, this is when we did this." Or like, you would be, my parents would go on a cruise and they would come home and then the neighbors would come by and they're like, "Oh, here's all my photos from the cruise," and it was like this idea of having these things and enjoying them and holding them, there's something that it makes you just feel like, okay, like this is a tangible moment in time of my life. It
Yes,
really, photographs are time machines. They
they are.
are our view into the past, and that I can probably almost that's what you're gonna get if you want to travel through time. Going through photographs at least get you through the past couple hundred years, where you can, you know, uh, see images of what things actually looked like, not someone's interpretation, or drawing. And so
Right.
it's like if you're into history and if you're into, collecting moments and saying like, wow, I'm holding something that, like, the guy who took this photo was there. Like, he saw the follow through, he saw the
Yep.
slide. He was there in that moment that you're just like, I could only imagine if I could go back in time to when, I don't know, so and so had his first grand slam. I'm not like I can't, I don't got Biff's guide to
No,
the
he was
but
he was
you know what I mean?
present
Like,
for that event.
right, so it's like you're able to have a piece of a time capsule that you could only imagine and wish that you could have also been there. And so now you're kind of there, right? Through the eyes of somebody else.
Right. Like
And
vicariously, yep.
what what you'll see, like when we start showing you like the auctions, or if you start going to like Heritage, they're currently doing an auction. I have one photo in there. Merle has, I think, like 8 or 9 or 10.
Yeah.
But then in the next auction,
6.
I have
Oh,
like
yeah.
20. So we're, yeah, like,
Yeah, I think they're gonna be
but
doing Heritage.
I know. I
Jeremy
was gonna
called
say,
me go ahead.
oh, sorry, one last thing. What I'm gonna say is when we show you the photos that we're choosing, and when Merle in the beginning was talking about, like, it- just like you wouldn't grade like every Kurt Rambis card you have, like, yeah, maybe you grade the rookie, right? What is it,
Or
the
a
'86
bowl.
Flair, right? But just like you wouldn't grade any single card you have, you don't slab every single photo. It's photos that are well compositioned, that have nice contrast, that have movement, that have depth, that have sharpness, that has the right blur, that has the right focus, whatever it is, it's that moment that we're just like, wow, imagine being in that moment. And, having and holding this photo in your hand is essentially the closest you have. And I think that's what ultimately attracts people to collecting photos of other people. And in this case, we're collecting photos of people's musical or people's pop culture heroes, including actors and musicians and entertainers and comedians and uh, artists. Because don't you even have you have some conceptual art
I do.
uh,
Yep.
photograph
And
slab,
yeah,
which
design, yeah,
crosses
designs,
which crosses
models,
into
everything.
2 words. So oh my god,
What's that?
I just had an idea. I
Okay. You got
I
a
just
brain fart over
okay,
here.
dude. I'll
What's
show
that?
these to you.
Okay.
I have 2 photos from a Mattel catalog shoot of unproduced Masters of the Universe figures,
Yeah.
and they're 2 photos. And those
Oh, it's
they're
like a
type
split
1.
screen?
It's 2 8x10s,
Okay.
and it's like different figures that they never produced.
Well, that's
And these are
awesome.
type 1 photos,
Ooh.
and those would look sick slabbed. Not you gave me that idea.
Well,
That's a
yeah, we
dope
saw
idea.
what we'll see later on
Yeah,
Heritage right now when the auction, one of the items that ends this Sunday is my Malibu Ken and Barbie color photo. That's, it's the colors, it's the style that's used for the Barbie movie,
right.
but they're
I know. I
Barbies.
love. I love it. No, dude. I mean, I think that's why I think you and I connect on this level. Is like, that's such a fun idea. It's like it's a type 1 photo of Barbies. Like, what do you mean? It's like, no, it's these are photos of the actual. Like, these are the actual Barbies, not the ones in the movies.
Right.
It's like
Yes. It's not Margot Robbie.
it's really. But I like how you perceived that, and I like that you understood that you could take that and encapsulate it. And I think that's what's fun, because I think like just like it's like the cool thing with photos is like, yeah, you could only do sports photos, right?
Hmm.
But like, yo man, I have this General Patton type 1 1940s color type 1 photo with a cob pipe. I think he's like in the Philippines. I mean, you might need that in your collection, that military,
I saw
these are
Dan
like,
sell one at Dallas Card Show. He sold a patent photo.
yeah,
Hmm.
not color.
No, no,
I'm not trying to
hardly any
compete with
color.
him.
Is yours
I'm not
color?
trying to be, dude. I'll show it to you. I have it in the
Love it.
I have it on
We'll see
Heritage.
it. Well,
Yeah.
let's get started. Let's see some action. People want to see. I'll do step one here. I'm going to show a video that I showed the other day, and then we'll discuss it. You and I will, and then it'll be your turn to show something next. Okay? How about that? You want to do that?
Wait, say that again.
I'm going to show a video, and we're going to talk over the video, okay? And
Okay.
discuss the photos. And then next, I want you to show whatever you want to show next, okay?
Okay.
Because I want us to start showing photos to everyone so they can start seeing them, and then we can start.
So do you want me to go first?
No, I'm going to do the video first.
Okay.
Okay,
Cool.
and then you go from there. I just want to make sure it works. That's all. Let's go here. Okay. Oh, here it is. Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, so here it is. So this is a Type 3 photo from Friends from '94, and if you notice, that's their old logo. There you go. Good one, Greg. Greg will be doing the soundtrack.
Right.
Now, this is from
We got it.
1980 from Bosom Buddies. I kind of consider this like his rookie photo. Tom Hanks.
That's a good one, man. That's
You like
early
that
Tom
one?
Hanks. I
Yeah,
like early
Type
photos.
1 photo,
Yeah.
1980,
Yeah.
Bosom Buddies. It says Tom will be introduced in the new show, Bosom Buddies. Oh, this is Carol Burnett and Dolly Parton
That
from
was on
the
her
Carol
show.
Burnett show, 79, Type 1.
Very cool.
I thought this one was a type 1. I got screwed. This is a type 3 of Michael Jackson on Sesame Street. But you can kind of tell because the grays and the blacks aren't strong. That's one thing you will always notice. Let me pause that quick.
It was funny. Yeah, you should
Go
go
ahead.
back and pause because I was going to say, like, I could show you a couple areas that
What's
could
that?
tell you.
Yeah, let's do it right here, okay?
Yeah.
Is that
So
good right there? Okay.
yeah, so you can already tell. Okay, this photo has definitely been cropped in.
Okay.
Like, because like if you look at like the corner and you see how like you can kind of see, it's almost like, like if you've ever seen a copy of a flyer, like if you had a wrinkled up like a punk flyer, right?
Mm-hmm.
If the punk flyer is wrinkled up and then you photograph a copy of a wrinkled flyer, the wrinkles are going to show. They're going to kind of like some ink's going to get in there. So
Right.
so if you look at the corners, you could see that they kind of they kind of cropped it a bit.
Yeah, it looks a little more washed out than it compared to type 1 photos. Type 1 photos, your whites, your blacks, your grays and charcoals are going to look much stronger, and then the contrast is going to be a little good too. So I mean, for
And the
example, if
most
you notice
go ahead.
Leslie Uggams like hair or head, even Michael's like afro, if this was a type 1, the detail on their hair would be more detail basically, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but what I was gonna say, the real way to know, and I think this is something that I was kind of like we were been talking about, and I was showing you like and us going like the flea markets and stuff, and me
Mhm.
me introducing you to different people, and you really need to feel photos. You
Yes.
can't. That is the first test. Like at a certain point, as the more photos that you buy and the more educated you get with the types of photo paper that were popular in certain eras,
Mhm.
and you start to see consistency, and not and that's also another reason why to buy a pre-authenticated type 1 photo is that you're not doing the work that, like, these photos don't just come from like
Yes, people
space,
don't
you know what I mean?
understand
Like,
how much work you and I are doing, Greg,
yeah,
trying to
no,
figure this stuff out.
I dig very deep, and I fortunately get, pretty lucky the stuff that I find, but it's because I'm like I'm out there, at least 4 times a month,
Right.
like looking for photographs and looking for like incredible photographs, and and stuff that and not everything, not I don't and I think that not all photos need to be encapsulated. So I'm
Sure.
just, and the reason that I like what's going on, and the reason I like that, like guys like you are really pushing it and really understanding how creative it can be, is that I think photography is important to our, culturally, and to me, getting more people into photography is like a good idea, and it helps everybody, even if you don't understand why you would put a photo in a case, or why you would need a third party to authenticate what you kind of already taught yourself. Like a lot of people sort of like almost like, why do I need to ask PSA to authenticate it? I know it, but it's like, okay, like, why then? Like, then why would you get anything authenticated? Like, do you think you should get? And I mean, there are some people who think that they don't even believe in autograph authentication places. They don't believe in coin. They don't, they're like, oh no, I know better. Like, I made the guide kind of thing. But at a certain level, it becomes to a point where it's like, okay, there's this agreed upon system that's been created.
Mhm.
Pour
Right.
to mint, right?
Mhm.
Or type 1 to type 3 or type 4, which PSA is essentially created,
Mhm.
and not and has created this like sense of like almost like collectible currency, uh like collectible currency, and also art. It's like, it you can present a photo as an object that attains a certain amount of value based on the thing, because I don't think that there's any other reason to encapsulate a photo unless there's a particular value. Now, the value might only be the fact that it's something like you would just want to like be able to run out with it if you were like, in a rush to get somewhere. But you're, yeah, I don't know.
No, I know. No, I'm listening. I'm listening. No, it makes good sense. And the thing is, like I said, I've repeated many, many times, I work on the film. I work with film, and I'm an editor. So once I kind of figured things out, it was pretty easy for me to figure kind of the resolution of film and what film looks like. I know because one time I went to the Cinerama Dome because I used to love going to Cinerama Dome to see the 70 millimeter print of 2001. Did you ever go to see that screening when they would see it? Of 2001 Space Odyssey?
You know what? I did. I got lucky one year. Our company does business. We did a lot. We're doing business. We're still doing business with this company, Zoomies, that are in Seattle.
Yeah.
So one time I had like gotten there a day early, and they have one in Seattle. So I got to see I saw Blade Runner though. Not
okay. Well, you got to see. Well, then we got to go when they reopen the Cinerama Dome. You got to go with me. But the one time, the last time I went, and I'll always sit in the very front middle row of the Cinerama Dome because you know how it's like 50 feet back. The first seat is, so you have plenty of space, and it's like wrap around. It's in Cinerama. It's the original Cinerama Dome. And I just kept looking at the detail of the print, and it started like bugging me. And I was like, man, the whites look weird. Everything looks a little weird. Doesn't look the same like as real film does. Because I've seen this movie so many times. It's around. I've probably had this the 12th or 14th time I've seen it, and I knew something was off. So I went out to the front and asked to speak to a manager, and I'm like, why does this print look so weird? And they were like, oh, we're sorry, we didn't get the 70 millimeter print in time, and so we're just showing a laser Blu-ray version of this. And I'm like, oh my god, I could tell. It's like the detail wasn't there, man. Like I could just tell, and it bugged me. Man. And so the thing is, this is my forte. This is my wheelhouse. And once I got my eyes adapted to know what to look at, then I knew. But the only thing with this one was it looked really good on the eBay photo. And the guy, I've bought a lot from him, and most of the stuff I bought from this guy is a Type 1. But he did list this one as a Type 1. Wasn't slab, it was raw. I took his word. I spent a few $100s on it, which sucks. And it came back a Type 3. But it's still it's still vintage, meaning that it's still taken from 1978, but it's from a reprint negative.
Well, that's the thing is there are collectible Type 2 and Type 3 images. Like,
yes, I'm sure.
It doesn't have to be a Type 1. It doesn't have to be a Type 1 because, especially if it's done within the period, and I still
right, like you can still have a Babe Ruth from like 1930 that could be a Type 4. Babe Ruth was rookie year. And that could still sell for like tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, I mean, if you're, of course. I mean, but also you also have to remember that might apply to Babe Ruth, but it might not apply to like Michael J. Fox. Like it's Michael J. Fox. So don't exactly. So that's the thing is just be careful. You never take all the bait. You got to go all the way down. You got to go all the way down to realize there's a hook at the end.
Have you sold or auctioned off any Type 4 photos?
And
do you have any goodies?
I don't think I have any Type 4.
Best.
Oh no, I do.
Okay, what was it?
I do. I have the best Type 4. I have the best Type 4.
Okay. Yep.
I have a Type 4 of Tom Brady in a parade of the parade after the first Super Bowl they won.
The first one he won.
The first one he won. So he's Tom Brady. It's the day after they win the Super Bowl.
Like at Disneyland or Disney World or somewhere?
Yeah, so no, or
the city, or he's in Boston,
or
like celebrating.
And or wherever. And so it's somebody who took a photo of him, like, hey, Tom Brady, and it took a photo and then probably printed it out off their like Kodak printer at home.
Okay.
So that's like a Type 4 or whatever, or however.
You can't do that. That gets rejected. I'll show you later.
No.
Those prints
No. So no. Mine got so mine must be
reprint
like
negative.
a reprint negative. Yeah.
Yes. After 2 years.
Right.
So it's still been like made in 2004, but
it probably was made. It probably was made like, because what it probably was is it could have been done with an early digital camera. So if it was an early digital camera, then, but it was printed
after 2 years. Yes, as long as they know that when that photo occurred versus when it was developed.
Well, and also what type of paper it's on.
True. Yes.
Yeah. So that's actually a really good Type 4 that I have. I need to show you.
Okay, but you still have that. It's not for sale?
No, that's what. See, like, I'm trying not to keep a lot of stuff anymore. Like I'm actually trying to sell the stuff. I mean, I still have a lot of stuff, but it's like, I want to keep some of my photographs, like I want to keep like I was going to show one that I don't know if it's going to work with the blur. Did we determine it wouldn't?
Oh, let me go back to you. Okay. Hold on. Give me 1 second.
Oh, sorry.
No. Oops. Let me try to get this. There we go. Okay.
So I bought a collection of about, I don't know, like 20 Type 1 Salvador Dali photos.
And who's he there with? Walt Disney?
And so this is one with Walt Disney and Walt Disney's wife.
Okay.
This is a Type 3. So actually they weren't all Type 1s. I actually wasn't sure.
So that's still vintage, meaning that's taken within the 2 years of that photo taken.
Right. And it says 1961 because that's what it's dated on the back.
Right. And then you see all the press DNA on the back.
Yeah, the press, the tape,
the dates,
the caption,
the photographer's sweat stamps.
And actually, now that I see this and I'm looking at it again, you can definitely see the difference. Like you would see, it would be like, it's like when you saw.
Now it's like good.
It's like when you saw the wrong size print in the movie theater. Like, You know what I mean? Like that's what it would be if you looked at it right now in person. But it's still a period piece. But I do have a lot of Dali Type 1 photos that are going into future. I put the majority of the collection into future heritage auctions.
The Greg's Fun Shop collection.
The Greg's Fun Shop collection.
You're gonna have your own auction series theme going on at Heritage one day. Same here.
Hey,
so let's go on the rest.
I would totally do that if they want me to curate an auction, dude. The Greg Mishka Heritage Auction.
Oh my gosh, I would know where to begin, man.
Bro.
Okay, let's continue with the video, shall we?
Yeah.
So here it is. So this is unfortunately a Type 3, but it's still cool. Him on Sesame Street. It was a Christmas special. This one's a rejected photo. Again, this one, they said this was a copy print.
Yeah.
Of Emma Watson from Harry Potter. But this one, see, it does have a stamp, has the photographer's stamp, and then some drawings. But that is a Type 1 of Harry Potter.
Nice. That was probably that's an on-set photo then.
Yeah,
that's what that was. That was
2004, which are hard to find because, like we both know, most photos taken from then on to now are all digital. But this was taken on real film because some of the Harry Potter movies used, I think most all of them did, used real film.
Well, no, this is also, I mean, this is another piece of art. This is this is the on set photographer taking
Right.
these photos for the press photo. So
Mhm.
this is the photo that they would have used to make the press photo that came in like a kit,
Right, like the publicity photo.
publicity photo.
Yeah,
So
and
yeah,
this
this is
photo was
this is.
used in the press kits
But I'm
given for
saying, but
the prisoner of Azkaban.
that's on set. She saw him acting, and
Right.
that's when you know, if you want to really start getting into it and really like enjoying it,
Yeah.
like I said, you got to do the time machine. You got to do the fact that, you know, was she watching the worst take or the best take? But whatever it was, whatever she captured was, you know, cool AF. So
So here's part 2 real quick. Let me do this. Um,
Lou, Lou too.
so these are some more photos. This is from what, like 1978. This is a Type 3 publicity photo. See the
I
overlay on it? It said Vicious
love
from
that.
Sex Pistols.
I
But
love
still,
that.
I just love that he's in the plane reading a magazine. I had to get it. It's still from
No,
1978. But see all the DNA on this one? You know this is a good one. And that is
that's a
John. That
nice.
was my first photo I ever bought at the National 3 years ago of Johnny Cash
That is the man
in
in black.
1962. Yes, I
That's
thought you would.
beautiful.
And this might be one of the illustration photos. Yes, it is. That's a Frank Lloyd
Yeah,
Wright of the Commerce Build Center in Marin County, San Marin County.
I love that.
That was his last design that got built. Here's a
That's really
rejected
cool.
photo of James Dean. They said this was a print, even though it was
Yeah,
from
man.
55. It even had a wet stamp on the back from Disney.
You got to get that. You got to get that loop. You got to get that magnifying glass,
So
bro. That time I showed you.
so they charged, yeah, I should have, but it had a wet stamp on it on the back from Walt Disney. So that's why I sent it in.
But you would. But as soon as you put the microscope to it, you would have saw the dots.
I
You
should
got
have,
to
yeah.
get.
You got to
You got
teach
to
us
get
more on that.
you got to get a 10 to. I just picked up a 35. You can get a times 35 little handheld with a light on Amazon for like $20. I mean,
Oh,
it's
that's it. What's it called
or
again?
less than that. It's like just basically like a loop or like a magnifying glass, but there's one where it's like you can put it right down to the photo, and then you can and it goes up to 35 times.
Okay.
So like magnification. So
So
it gets
bring
like
that with
super
you,
super detailed.
or have one at home before you submit
Oh
to
yeah,
PSA.
I start bringing it with me now when I go to like flea markets or like shows or stuff, because especially like, you know, me and my buddy Eric, like we go early, so sometimes it's dark out, and
Mhm.
you know, you might see a photo in the morning, and then, you know, we've both had instances where it's like we later on when we put it to magnifying glass, it's like, man, this is just like a really really like fine print,
Yeah.
or it's a very obvious print, we just didn't see it, you know, in the dark.
Now the thing is, people don't know as well. They think they can go and just submit everything to PSA, and if it's no good, or they think that everything's going to be good, but if it's no good, you'll get refunded. Unfortunately, for something like the James Dean and Emma Watson from Harry Potter, they're going to charge you for the authentication service, which is $50. Did you know that?
I
Okay.
did. I know
But
that
for
we
the
charge.
next one that's rejected, they did not charge me. Do you know why? For this
No.
one. This one,
Were
um,
they unable to?
yes, that is Jane Mansfield from the 50s in a beautiful bubble bath. I thought this was really sexy. It's like overflowing with bubbles. I think there's some guy in the background trying to clean it up. It was just a great
Yeah,
story.
yeah. I have. You know, these are kind of like you know, like the Mr. Skin, or you know, Daily
Don't
Mail
put me
of
pervy
the
like that.
of the. No, no, I'm telling you what these are,
Oh,
man.
she
Like
did. Oh, she was kind of like a page 6 girl.
yeah, like this is like somebody like over
Pinup
like
shots.
yeah, no, but these are like somebody trying to take a photo of like a nude, like a celebrity with her top down at the beach.
Right, but the only person in here is the set designer and the photographer.
Yeah, but you don't
Because I've
like.
seen some of these shoots, you can tell they're just photoing while she's preparing herself for the actual photo.
Well, maybe
And he
look,
just took some photos. The photographer did.
I think that's a very valid argument. I think we both have very valid. I think we both
There's like
have
some
valid
stranger in the
arguments.
bathroom while she's taking a bath.
Dude, I bet you if we talked to Henry Yee, he would not be he would not maybe be 100% on my side, but he would definitely give me the credit that
Oh
I
no,
should
yeah.
get on this.
No, I totally understand. But the thing is, on this one, I got rejected because they said there wasn't enough DNA on the front or back to give it any specifics for the label. And because of that, they're not saying they do believe that it's a real photo. It's an actual, authentic photo. The only thing is they can't authenticate it to put a label on it to have like dates and everything because there wasn't any wet stamps or any other thing to give it any identification. And because of that, I did get refunded for that rejected photo. Has that happened to you as well?
No, Merle. No, my photos
Are
do
you
not get
perfect?
rejected.
You're always perfect.
No, no, trust me. I get plenty of things sent back to me. No, but I've definitely got things back type 2 that I like still think are type 1. I still want to talk to them about it. Like
Oh,
I don't.
really?
Yeah, like I have some snapshots of um Marilyn Monroe performing in Korea, and they're saying that they're period, that they're type, but they're saying they're type 2. So they're saying they're 1950s, but like they're not. I don't know if they're saying that means like did the G.I. get photos developed in Korea and then maybe somebody made photos from the negatives that he got that year or something. I don't know. I don't know how that would be.
All right. Well, let's watch the rest of this video then.
Right.
See how the rest of them do. Ah, see, I'm pissed. Like, no good. There's the letter Y. So you get a totally different letter for the two different types of rejections. One that's a reprint or another one that just not enough information. Now, here's a cool, this is kind of like a snapshot. This is a Polaroid of Three's company.
I love
That's
that.
a type 1. I really like this photographer, so I bought some more from this guy of
I
Mork and
have
Mindy and Love Boat. Sorry, let me pause that real quick.
I have some Fantasy Island from him.
Oh, that guy, it's Jim Britt.
Yeah, I have some Fantasy Island.
But I love the background. It looked like it was photoshopped. It's so cool. The lighting is so good that it doesn't look real at times.
Dude,
and the Mork and Mindy and the Love Boat are amazing.
It's just a classic, high quality, high end, on set. It's a Polaroid, right?
Yeah, and it says polo color. Do you know what a polo color is?
Polo. It's essentially, it would be like when a photographer would attach the Polaroid to their actual film camera. So
what? Really? No, I didn't know this.
Yeah, so basically what this is like a test photo. Like the photographer gets all the lighting, sets everybody up, and then takes a photo and then looks at because that photo that they took is on film, but this is the instant photo. And then I would imagine that probably in this
there's a real 35 of this.
Yeah, this is one of the takes, because you got to think there could be 20 Polaroids from that setup, because it could, it depends on how, artistic the photographer is, or artistic.
But these don't look like the typical Polaroids that I'm used to that like zip out of the camera.
That's taken by a true professional team. That's like a film production team. That's like, this is to be photographing the crew of Three's company for, this could have been for a shoot for a regional TV guide, or it could have been for
it looks like one
promo. And so, this is the closest thing you're going to get to what the final print is going to look like, that then's going to appear in the magazine. And you're getting this instantly with your team of producers and lighters and grips and whoever that are setting up and lighting your vision of
Right.
what you want it to look like.
Right. Back when everything was analog, it's not digital, so you
Yeah,
can't give like instant results.
this was the instant. This is
Result.
like now taking a photo and then showing someone on your phone. This is the closest you could do. So this is, dude, this is the shit I love. Like this
You
is
really?
I and I also like it because I like the size, because I
Ah,
don't, I like to have things that are almost card size, because we're also card collectors, right?
right.
So and dealers. So like I like to have things that will fit in similar boxes. And I like these, and if you understand the story of what this is, and it's almost like, you're collecting generally a small photo of a card, right? Of
You
a
are.
sports player. But in this case, this is the actual photograph. But, you know,
This is
uh,
like the proof, basically.
yeah, and it's just in a different setting. It's just in a
Right.
different setting of another icon, in pop culture, that appears in a moment in time that we appreciate. It's like,
Right.
even though
Well,
I was this was I think this was made before I was even born. Like,
oh, don't
I was
say
like
that. Oh, I hate this is
I
I
was
think
watching like
78 or 79.
yeah, like
No,
I
no,
was see,
it's before.
I was
No,
watching
it's
like the
probably yes. It's
reruns.
probably 77 or 78 because the Ropers are still on there. This is before
Yeah,
Mr.
see,
Furley.
I was born in '79, so I didn't
I
even
used to same
start.
age as my girlfriend. Yes, Three's Company was my favorite show when I was a kid, and that's why I bought it. My mom let me stay up till 9:30 on Tuesdays so I could watch it because I thought, it was way the sexual windows. Of course, I wasn't watching it for
Yeah,
that at 7, 8 years old, but
no,
because I
dude,
loved, I loved
I was
Jack's slapstick humor,
yeah. Well,
John
no,
Ritter's
dude,
slapstick humor.
I remember as a kid, watching the reruns, and you would just hear the music. Come on, knock on my door. Come on,
Come
knock
on,
on
knock
my door.
on my door.
Take a step that is new. Take a
So
step
yeah,
that
this
is
is great.
new.
And the thing is,
And
you
then it's
maybe
like, it's
I was going to tell you, you probably have some of these. And since I also worked a lot on productions on TV and movies, I was a props master, also a set designer. That I had a ringer full of Polaroid uh, film or photos because I had to do continuity photos for this.
yeah, dude.
So I had to get the actors holding their props or take photos of the set design in case we had to come back and do reshoots or
I
something that
love
I knew where everything
continuity
was set.
photos.
Do you
Now
collect
you're
those as
talking my
well?
language. Yeah, dude, I love continuity photos. I love continuity photos. I love behind the scenes snapshot photos. Dude, you haven't even seen, like, I have behind the scenes they're not slabbed yet, but I have behind the scenes snapshots photos of like Willy Wonka, like the original OG Willy
I mean,
Wonka,
Gene Wilder, Willy
like
Wonka.
Gene Wilder, Grandpa Joe,
Where'd you find
Wonka.
these?
Dude, I
eBay?
found them on eBay years ago. N
Oh my goodness.
it
Too
it
late
it was
now.
a no, dude, listen to this, you know who it
Okay.
was? It was this guy who bought Bozo the Clown, like the original Bozo the Clown's
Yeah.
locker,
Okay.
and it was Bozo the Clown's son. They let
Who
him
collected
go
the
on
stuff?
set. No, that's the photos of him.
Oh.
The photos are of him on set behind the scenes at Willy Wonka. So he
Oh
was Bozo the
wow.
Clown's son. That's why I
And he
guess he
got
was able to,
access to
like,
be behind the
when they
scenes
were
of Willy
filming,
Wonka.
like, and it was when they were filming like the main, like
Fun stuff?
the like
Studio
the
stuff?
image, like when they're walking, no, like, if you want to view paradise, like when they
Nice.
walk in the room and
Okay.
everybody like starts eating the candy, and before Augustus falls, like, it's from
Okay.
that shoot. So it's like, it's the
And
set.
the chocolate
It's Gene
ponds.
Wilder,
Yeah.
and it's Gene Wilder,
Set.
it's Grandpa Joe, and then it's like the Oompa Loompas.
Oh
Dude, I got some
wow.
crazy. It's like, I feel like I'm like one of those like sports. I got some crazy heat, bro. I got some crazy heat. But but it's very nuanced and obscure. But I think you can appreciate it, which is, I think, like, why we get
That's why
along.
we're on here, dude. Okay, so
Yeah,
let me finish this. So here we go. This is one of Greg's
yeah.
favorites. He loves the Polaroid snapshots. And then the last thing I have here is this one. This is a type 1. You see all the DNA on the back, and that's a sexy one of Jane Mansfield type 1
That
from the
is beautiful, man.
55, I think. She almost looks naked until you get closer. She looks like someone.
Jane.
She looks. Sorry, let me go back. She looks like someone pulled her dress down. It looks like what happened. And she's like,
Yo,
"Oh,
man,
got me."
I kind of messed. Oh, I gotta plug my computer in, but
Uh-oh.
I am.
You're like Dan here.
Is that Dan's move?
Yeah. What do you need to do?
I kind of need to plug in my computer. I have like about 10% left.
Okay.
Let's I don't know. Let's go. Do you have another video?
Yeah, I have one more video. You change while I'm showing it, okay? Can you switch?
Cool. What do you mean?
No, you're gonna switch, like power your computer.
Oh yeah. Can I should I pause myself?
Yeah, I'm gonna show the video, okay? And I'll talk about it while you're setting up, okay?
All right, I'm gonna mute myself.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Bye. Okay, guys, let me show you another one here. I'm gonna pull the last one. I'm gonna show you this one. And I also posted this on Instagram. I was going to show you guys that you can authenticate the photo and the autograph. You just got to fill out 2 PDF forms. You have to fill out the autograph DNA form and also the photograph DNA form, and then send both of those forms in to the DNA department at the PSA place in New Jersey. They're not in Orange County, California, like the cards are, but they are in Jersey, and they will authenticate both. This one already had a PSA cert on it, so because I wanted to be safe, not sorry. I didn't want to get this slabbed with a fake auto, so I wanted to make sure. This is my first guinea pig getting a dual slab. So let's see what it is. Oops. This is there's the COA. So I sent that in to the PSA with the form. So it's like, please don't charge. They're not going to charge you extra for the auto. They just put it on the label. So it's a blank back. I know this is a type 3 publicity photo, because you'll see here shortly. This is Rey Mysterio Jr. 619 on a type 3 publicity photo from WWE in 2004, because you see the overlay on it, and it even has the PSA sticker on it from the original, and they slabbed it as a type 3 photo, meaning that this photo was taken in 2004 and also developed in 2004, but using a reprint negative to make a publicity photo of Rey Mysterio Jr. So there you go. And I'm going to wait for Greg here. I'm going to remove this other stuff. There it is again. But it's really cool because I'm now trying to find anything I can before people start realizing that the find dual auto type 1 photos. Also have a really nice one. Greg, you in yet? Are you in yet?
Yeah, bro. Sorry.
No worries. I knew this was going to happen. No, that worked out smoothly, man. I was talking over
I apologize for the level of unprofessionalism.
You never know what happens. So anyway, I was showing people that you can get an auto photo dual authenticated and telling them how to do it. Have you sent any in that format, like a dual auto and photo?
Yeah, I did the Carrie Fisher that I have coming up in Heritage.
Ooh, I can't wait to see. Oh, you sent that one in already.
Yeah, but that one, yeah, it's already, there's a photo of it online.
Damn. And when was that one taken?
Early 80s, I believe.
Okay, and it's autographed by just Carrie, and it's a photo from her in the 80s?
It's a photo of her, but I don't know when it was signed.
Was it a type 1 photo?
Type 1 photo, yeah.
Yeah, I don't care about that. I just care about the photo, when that date was. They put the date on there, and then they just say, they give it a grade or authentication that this is a real auto.
It says type 1, and then it says PSA DNA authentication.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I want to show you because that's what I'm trying to do here. And this is one of my most prized ones of type 1s. I bought this. I actually won this in an auction last year, and this is my hold right now. See if you can see who it is. This is my prized possession.
Yes. John C.
William
Kirk.
Shatner, right on the sweet spot, auto from 1966 Type 1 as Captain James Kirk in his chair.
I said
Captain's
John
chair.
Kirk.
Huh?
I said John Kirk.
Who's
Captain
John
John
Kirk?
Kirk.
Oh my gosh. But I'm holding on that one until he passes.
Yeah, well,
I got that one
I
for a
don't know,
steal, I
man.
feel like, man. What's
I
that?
don't know, man. I don't know. William
He's
Shatner,
gonna
man.
outlive
He's just,
us.
yeah, I think he's
He's
gonna be one of those
92.
dudes that's like 103 or something,
Oh my God. Let me
at
acknowledge
least.
all our favorite viewers real quick before you get into delving into your photos. Okay. Carlos, rise and shine. Carlos is always watching all Between Two Slabs and live streams from us. Happy Friday, everyone. TGIF. Greg is not dead. He's fully alive. He's just breathing right now. The Stiller 13. That Tom Hanks Jerry curl hairstyle is wild. Yeah, I didn't know he had a long Jerry curl hairstyle. Did you?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. That's his old fro.
Do you remember Bosom Buddies? I remember when it
I
came out,
mean,
and Dan Aykroyd's wife
no,
was on it, who was super hot. Even then, when I was 10, I was like, wow, she is smoking.
you know, honestly, I probably had never even watched it. I probably bought one of those books about TV shows, and I was like, oh man, I want to read about A Team, and then it was like, what the fuck, what the hell's Bosom Buddies? This looks bootleg, I don't know. I wasn't I
They
didn't
would
watch
never
it.
be able to get to make that show now. It's just
Why
very
is it just
un-PC.
on
Because
PC?
of guys trying to live in a woman's kind of dorm room in New York City, and they totally look like some guys lost a dare. Like they look like they're obviously dudes.
Dude,
It's just
that's
totally wrong. But on the back of what's so cool on the back of that photo, it says this is Tom Hanks debut, this is debutante show.
oh yeah,
This is
that's dope.
introducing.
I
Yes.
mean, that
So
is
that's why I had to get it.
that is like a rookie.
Distiller 13. Dolly Parton is having a moment right now as she is heavily featured on Beyonce's new country album. I know. I know she's doing a cover of Jolene, right? And maybe some other stuff.
Jolene.
And who doesn't like Dolly, right? If you don't like Dolly, I don't know what to tell you, man. She's just a good person, and her songs are classic and will always be timeless. What do you think?
Yeah.
Okay, you ready
Yeah,
to show your stuff? I think I kicked your
yeah.
thing out. You have to kick it back in again. Let's go. So, what are you gonna show us first, Greg?
Well, why don't I'll show you? Let's see. I'll show the one
You show
photo.
me yours. If I show you mine.
No, no,
Okay.
bro. I like that. No Diddy.
Oh my gosh. Okay. You don't have any Diddy photos. Now is Diddy going up? Someone asked
But
me. Everybody's DMing
dude,
me
but
asking me
you know
if
what's
Diddy cards are going up
well?
because of that
I mean,
instance.
look. I mean, guess who released the signed Diddy card
I know.
before his current
Drama.
circumstances?
Yeah. What?
Yeah. Gas trading cards. Dude, I mean, I don't push gas. I don't push gas as an investment, but you know, people are getting $300 and $400 for the signed Diddy cards
So they're going up in value
right now. Yeah, because people are sick.
because it's topical.
Yeah, it's just
You
because
think
it's
that
topical.
any kind of topical publicity is good publicity in the hobby or not?
It's an interesting. That's an interesting question.
Unless you're
I mean,
Wonder Franco.
dude, I have a signed Diddy photo at my office that I bought for years ago for $5. I'm just gonna send that in. Probably flip it for 400.
Wow,
I
you're
ain't
sick,
ashamed.
dude.
I would sell. I would have sold OJ shirts outside the trial.
And R. Kelly.
Nah, man, R. Kelly's a little. I mean,
But
trapped in the
hasn't Diddy pretty
closet.
much done the same thing?
Well, look,
We don't know yet, but
trapped in the closet is some kind of artistic genius, but
yes.
he's a very sick man, and I hopefully he gets the help that he needs. It's unfortunate,
Is he
most art.
still in prison?
Well, look, man, all artists are tormented, right? But
Yeah.
not all of us have the same demons. You know what I mean? And so, he's a man, and he fucked up, and he's paying for his crime. It's that's the system that has been created, but you can't. It's hard to take. It's really hard to take artistic ability from somebody,
Hmm.
especially with music, because it's something that essentially like changed your life or was a big moment of your life, and it really had nothing to do, or the reason it was so beautiful was because the person that was singing was so tormented. Like, we'll never know the answer. You know what I mean?
Okay,
It's a
right.
conundrum. But I don't have any R. Kelly photos, and I don't collect them, and I wouldn't sell them.
Okay, so what do you have
That's
for
that.
us, Greg? Show us what you got.
All right, let me see if I can present
Sorry, I
this.
clicked you out by accident. Sorry, that's my fault.
I don't even know what that means. Okay.
I
So
clicked. Yeah, there you go. You brought it back in.
so this is, should I do it full screen?
And I'll do it. I'll do it, and then we'll go. There we go. How about that?
Well, I can't see you, but I don't think that matters, right?
You can't see. I see you. We're split. I just don't know how your phone is.
Oh, it's okay, but you can see me moving it up and down, right?
Oh yeah. Do you not see it?
No, I do see it. I'm just making
Okay.
sure that you can see
Yeah.
it.
Oh yeah. I'll
Um,
tell you, man. I would let you know right away.
so so this is my one photo that I have, and I guess uh, it's kind of like almost the premiere, right? Or like premiere, at least for 2024, where it's like uh it's their first like type 1 photo auction of the year,
Oh, it
right?
is.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh
No, I
wow.
don't know. I was asking you.
No, I don't know. This is actually like it could be because this is actually my first time selling on Heritage with these photos.
Yeah, I mean, I
So this is
think I
my
guess
first round.
yeah, I guess, does my camera okay? Sorry, because it fell a little
Dude,
bit. Oh, I
everything looks
guess
great.
okay. So yeah, so this is like, so we actually got pretty lucky, like to and but it's still, it's still early. We just, we were able to get in on this auction. I wish that I had more images in it, but I do have this beautiful Elvis image. I mean, it's one of the best. It's funny because this is what I imagined that it was worth, between like $400 to $600,
I mean,
and
prior to sending it into Heritage.
no, I still think it is.
Okay.
Like I
Really?
yeah, like I think this is going to end with somewhere between $400 and $600. Like I don't
Well, it's
think.
already at 420.
Right. Well, it's at 520 with the
My
premium.
opinion, but yeah, I'm just saying, like the current bid right now, your eye is kind of, and the viewer's eye is already focused on the 420.
Yeah, look, I have a lot of watchers. I'm trying. I don't.
You do.
When it
You're
comes
like the
when
second
it
or third most watched photo of this auction.
well, when it comes to
Look at
um
wow.
yeah, so this is also something important, is the actual photographer. So you can see
The
um
composition of it is great.
well, the competition, and
The composition,
also, yeah, and also,
like he's got the
it
mirror in the
has,
back, and you see his crew with him,
yeah, yeah, you have this girl, you're like, who's she?
and then he made
She's
sure he
just in shock.
got both angles of the hair so you can see what he's doing from the
Yeah,
front and back.
she's in shock. She has no idea what she's seeing, this guy.
He
And
wants to lick him
Elvis
for
is,
sure. She wants to like
yeah,
lick Elvis.
yeah, and this was actually in Oakland.
In
That's the other
56.
cool. Yeah, that's the other cool thing, is if you, yeah, the thing that I like about, oh, sorry, the thing that I like about that Heritage does is, they also, they give a nice little research. So, they say Elvis Presley
Mhm.
backstage combing his hair at the Oakland Auditorium, June 3rd, 1956, by Robert Stinnett with Galloon Agency. And
That's
so Bob
crazy.
Stinnett,
Did you
so
even
if you
know
look at,
that much before you sent it to him? Because they put so much stuff down that I'm like, I didn't even know this. How did they
yeah,
find out about this stuff?
but no, I'm saying I knew that it was, because I looked up the photographer, and
Right.
I knew that it was a good photographer that took a lot of photos of Elvis during that time. But I also like that's one thing I like about selling with Heritage, is that they really, and this is not we're
You don't
not
need the
getting paid by
disclaimer.
Heritage.
It's okay. No.
Oh, okay. Well, no, dude, I just do a lot of different things, so I don't want people think that I'm like shilling for Heritage. It's just that I just really like using them for a lot of stuff, and especially I like the fact
Especially
that,
like the pop culture stuff.
Well, yeah, the fact that they took this on, I mean, you know, I think this is a perfect example of something that you'd want to get slabbed and you'd want to buy as an
Of
investment
course.
because it's Elvis, you know, it's 56. It's like
Yeah, and when did his
it's
career
like
take off? 55? So it's like a year
yeah, I mean
later?
this is like when he's about to like really take like he's really taken over, you know, as the king of rock
Yeah,
and roll. You know what
what
I mean?
really,
It's
blew my mind, though, is they said this is right before he started using the jet black hair dye.
yeah, exactly. That's really
I was like,
interesting
"What?
too.
You do that? It's crazy."
Well, that's the amazing thing about, you know, guys like Elvis and having a photo is that, you know, these people were so documented, you know, and it
Even then.
it not and just I mean, just like you could probably like find like maybe as close there's probably people that are trying that could probably do a close to a day by day life of Elvis. You know what I mean?
Mhm,
It's like
mhm.
there's just certain people that are very easy to find certain moments in time. Um, so then I wanted to show I don't know the best way to do this, but I
Dude, you're
wanted
doing
to
great. You're
show
doing great. Just
how should
pull it
I
back in,
oh
and I'll help
well
you.
here. Well here,
Just do
I
yeah,
was
there
gonna
you
show
go.
some previews.
Oh, I see, because
Um
you're on the page. I see why you can't see. Yeah, you're doing great. I'll
yeah.
coach you through it. You're doing good.
So okay, so for
If you wanna click
this
into it,
is
click into it.
yeah, this is my
Oh, this is yours
I'm
too?
yeah, I'm very
Oh,
excited
wow.
about this photo. So
Oh, yeah,
this
you've sent this to
photo
me, yes, to see.
yeah, so this photo is in Heritage's next um is
Auction
in
that's
the
coming up on Tuesday.
right. So
So
the
let's
bidding
stop real quick because for people who don't know, the viewers and the listeners, that your Elvis photo ends Sunday evening, this Sunday evening.
oh yeah, let me should I go here? I'm gonna go
No, no,
back
it's good.
one
I'm
and
just letting
show
people know. So, and then some of the
well
ones
just
I'm
in
going to
case people
show
look.
of mine, the same thing. I have like 6 photos that are also in the same auction with Greg's that ends
Yeah.
Sunday night. And that's I wanted to do it Sunday night, but unfortunately, and watch our auctions end. But unfortunately, I'm going to be watching WrestleMania with friends. I'm geeking
Yeah,
out.
that would have been the way to do it.
But we'll do
But
it another time, okay? Like that. We'll have
yeah,
plenty
no.
of options, okay?
Um
But this is
so
a Charlie Chaplin. Looks like he's with the film crew, like
okay,
in the
so let
park
me
or
explain.
somewhere in
So
the
okay,
forest.
so no, this is so
Yeah,
this
it's Golden Gate
is
Park.
so Charlie Chaplin made a few movies in Golden Gate Park in San Francisco. And
Mhm.
this is and you should know this well as being in the film industry. This is a cast and crew image. You
Yes.
know, every production at the end of production, they do a cast and crew image. So this is a cast and crew image that was done for a Charlie Chaplin film of the period given to the cast and crew of the film shortly after the photograph was taken, however, you know, a couple days, a week, whatever it was.
Right.
And actually, if you actually zoom in, I actually had to tell them this. If you zoom in, uh,
I know. Are
you
you going to
can.
have to hit the plus sign? You know how this thing is kind of hard to navigate. The zooming is on Heritage. That's one thing they need to
Sorry.
fix.
Yeah, yeah. Heritage fixed that shit. Um,
Now go. No,
anyways,
hit it again. Hit it again and hit the plus sign. The
oh, this
plus up
one
there. Yeah.
plus.
Yeah, and then
And
drag
then how?
down. Once you then drag with your cursor. Oh, now
I don't
drag.
know why my I don't know why my shit's not working, bro. Oh, the cursor,
Yeah.
dude.
So zoom plus first, and then drag. There you go.
Dude,
Now
my
drag
shit's
it. Yes.
off. I feel like a child. I can't. I
The
like.
it's hard to for me. It's not the easiest thing. I can imagine if we're having a hard time, most other people are having even a worse
Anyways,
time with it.
you know, this is a really cool photo again
Yeah, and
because
let's
it's
look.
cast and crew,
There's no really
and
DNA
there's
on the back
also,
either, which is
but there
scary to
is,
buy. But
but no, well, no, there, but there is what I was trying to show, which I can't
okay,
show, but someone that can zoom in can see. There's actually it actually has it does it says Golden Gate Park 1915 that was hand put into the negative.
gotcha. Oh, so they
So
marked it by hand on the film.
they marked it by hand on the film to when they to make
to give it a date and time and place, a reference.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's
you'll
actually
see you'll see
G.A.
that a lot on old film.
Yeah.
You'll see like those inscriptions
here we
at
go.
the bottom.
Oh, there we go. Hold on. Well, first of all, look at it. There's
Charlie there, right there,
actually
on the right side.
Here's an interesting story about this photo, just because like we're nerding out or whatever. So I bought a collection from a friend of kind of a lot of like vaudeville era stuff, and it was this sort of like random collection. It tied into these like sort of lesser known, but at the time, you know, pretty well known, like, you know, people in that world in like the turn of the century, you know, like the 19, you know, late, you know, like early, like 1910s, you know, mostly, that were doing vaudeville and stuff. So when I was like, it was like a bunch of stuff. And I didn't look at it all. And so when I got it home and I like started to process it and look through every paper, I see this photo and I'm like, oh, this is really cool. This looks like a cast and crew photo. And then I was like, holy shit, that's Charlie Chaplin. And then I was like, oh, so like, wait, that was like one of his movies. So, anyways, I'm really excited about this one. And not just, but because
and he's still dressed like the tramp in the photo.
This is an important photo for people that collect Charlie Chaplin. It's an important photo for people who collect early Hollywood. It's important for people who collect early film history, because there wasn't many of these made, because it was a very intimate. It's a cast and crew photo. It's for the cast and crew as a remembrance of the time, and it's not generally something that someone would imagine that would be in public view per se. I mean, it's something that would have, you know, but you know what I'm saying.
Well, it could have been like on the walls or the offices at the studios.
Sure, yeah. So that's why you can see like the
because
corners.
what was he part of? United Artist. He helped form United Artist.
Yeah, but this was a special.
This is before that, but I'm saying once he, moved over there to Culver City, this could have been on the office walls somewhere.
Exactly. I'll show
And
a couple
so you
more.
found this, and did you even realize this was a type 1?
I did. I mean, I had no doubts that it was a type 1, but and PSA verified it. I mean, I'll say that. Yeah, I was very confident that it was a type 1.
You felt really good about this. And then when did you find this again, you said?
This is a couple years ago now.
Okay. But like
and then,
at a yard sale, flea market?
Yeah, something like that.
Good
just
job. You don't have to give us specifics if you have a secret fishing hole.
No, just different markets, different markets. Yeah, but
so you hit gold on this one, but you've held it for a while and tried to sell it, but you're like, okay, maybe I'll have better luck at Heritage doing it or selling it at an auction house.
Yeah, I thought for this particular image it would do better as a um I think it increases the already intrinsic. So like, to me, as a photo as a dealer, you would probably charge about like anywhere between, I think, $1,000 to $1,500.
Right.
Someone might argue with me and say $850 to $1,200, but this is $1,000 photo, like by itself, like without a doubt. I mean, maybe you take a deal,
but you
for
didn't pay
800.
that much for it.
No, it doesn't matter what I paid.
It doesn't matter.
I'm telling you, in like the market for photography, minus the plastic case.
Right.
This is
minus all the authentication, the slab, all that. Regardless,
this is an
photo.
This is an $800 to $1,200 or $1,200 to $1,500 photo. Putting it in this case enters it into another collectible market that not everybody knows about. What we're trying to educate people about, which is the collectability of type 1 pop culture SLABS photos,
Right.
and it's a market that I think, looking at it as a market, it's an emerging market in the hobby. It's an emerging market in the collector's universe. And I only say quotes because people get, like get weird about that word, but I mean, that's what this is. This is our hobby. This is what we like to do. Like
Mhm.
we like to collect the stories, we like to tell the stories, we like to sell the stories, so we continue to make more and more stories, right?
Mhm.
So, um,
And people also don't realize either that it cost a lot of money to make that photo back in those days.
oh yeah, I mean,
Film was
photography
expensive,
was
man. Film was
yeah,
so expensive.
film was expensive, and yeah, you had to be very careful with, I mean, depending, I guess, on
Yeah,
how.
they couldn't make like 100 photos at one time like they can now digitally, or 1,000
Yeah,
photos. Like they had to
Merle,
be
I don't.
like make sure they were on top of everything and make sure the photo was perfect before they hit the trigger.
Yeah, what I don't know how much longer we're gonna go, but like I can't stay too much longer.
Okay.
So let me do this. Let me go through a few of the other photos I have, and
Then
then
we'll do it.
you know me.
We'll do another night. We've got so much to talk about. We're just gonna have to do
Yeah,
like
yeah,
chapters of this.
yeah,
How about
yeah.
that?
Like yeah, we gotta.
Because
Anyways,
it looks like
so let me
Greg
show.
has his laptop on his stomach right now. I don't know what he's
Oh,
doing.
dude, that's the thing is I'm trying to. I'm like trying to. I thought, how can you see? I thought you have it full screen.
I do have full screen, man, but we're split.
No, but I know. But I'm saying like, don't no. Oh, you still have me here?
Yes.
Oh, dude. I didn't know. I thought all you could
No
see
worries.
was the
You're fine. You're
screen.
just a little tiny thumbnail. As long as you got your
So you
clothes on, we're good.
so you can see the screen?
Yes,
All right.
but you're fine. You look. All I see is a head talking. It's
Oh yeah, no, that's why I was asking you because I couldn't see the anyways. So it's good
yeah.
now, right?
You're just a talking head. It's all you've been. Yes. I mean, if you don't have your pants on, we don't know.
So here's a couple more that I have. These are some more classic
Okay.
Hollywood that I wanted to try. Like early Frank Sinatra, nice like 1950s Judy Garland,
Wow,
is
these are
kind of like,
great, Greg. These are great
just a
stuff.
really nice pose. Um, 1950s Fred Astaire,
That's your
just some
daddy long
classic,
legs one you showed me.
yeah. Funny face, Audrey Hepburn and Fred Astaire, that's just like
Oh,
that's a
wow.
classic,
Photo,
beautiful
portrait
photo of
photo. Yeah.
yeah, beautiful photo of Hepburn. She's like, she's got, she's a favorite of our generation, I think of generations to come. Um,
Mhm.
this is another really cool Elvis that I have. This one's interesting too because
Whoa,
it's
look at that.
yeah, look at that one. So this is like 56. So this is like a year well, that's funny, right? Because now you can really see the black in his hair, right?
Oh, yeah, he's definitely dyed it, and
He
he's even dyed his
he looks like
eyebrows.
he looks like Glenn Danzig. That's why
Yeah.
dude, that's why this photo is like, that's like why Glenn Danzig is like obsessed with Elvis.
Oh, really?
I mean, look at him. He's got fucking
Yeah, he went with the
dyed
jet
black
black dye
hairs
hair. He dyed his
and like
eyebrows too.
yeah, and like black ink under his eyes or something.
He looks like
Or
Eddie
some color,
Munster.
some
Yeah,
coloring.
no,
Yeah,
he's
he
got
looks like
makeup on.
Eddie.
He's wearing makeup and all now
He
too,
looks like Eddie
versus that
fucking
first
Munster.
picture. Yeah.
Now, the other thing I like about this one is if you look, he's holding some
Lions Club.
uh, he's holding some type of Elvis merch.
That's oh, it's like
So,
a it looks like a watch card. There's a
yeah,
watch or
so
something on it,
so this, yeah, you can see how it says
or
Elvis
a
Presley.
charm or something. It looks like a
Yeah,
charm, maybe bracelet.
it's a charm bracelet, it's a watch, and it's some other little crappy thing.
And then
So
there's the
it's
photo of Elvis playing a guitar on the back of the card.
well, no, it's
Yeah.
on the card, but what I'm saying is that this was probably a very impromptu meeting of the Colonel being like if you watch the movie, you could kind of imagine it. This would have been like, "Hey, Elvis, these guys are making kids toys here. They're they're in the back. They're backstage. Come check it out." So
Then Colonel Tom
you know,
Parker is getting the money for introducing Elvis to them.
no, he's showing Elvis the shit they made for him and wherever they fucking made it.
Oh, I know.
Probably in, I don't know. That's probably still made in the U.S. then. Then I got this bitchin' photo of Mick Jagger
Ooh,
on
sweet.
stage,
What year is that?
1972.
Color photo
1972,
too. Color.
color photo, beautifully shot.
Now, Greg, why don't they shoot many color type 1 photos? Why are most type photos black and white?
Because it started by people collecting sports stuff, which,
Okay.
from the 1930s and before, where you didn't have color film. So you could have slabbed color any time. It's just that generally the people that were collecting type 1 photos were people that were collecting photos of of events that happened
But
before color
but
film.
even modern time, like you saw my Harry Potter, like that was 2004, and that's still a black and white
Yeah,
photo
because that
for
photographer had probably been.
publication.
Well, no, that photographer had probably been shooting photography for 40 years.
Right.
It was probably like a professional photographer. I mean, I'm only guessing, but I mean, if in 2004 a photographer is still shooting film, it's somebody who's been shooting film for years. They were essentially probably, a rarity, but something on a set like Harry Potter. I would imagine that they would have a real still photographer and not like, well, I guess it wouldn't matter, but I'd imagine that that's the reason that
Mm.
it was an artistic choice that photo even exists, which to me makes it even more of a rare photo, like you
Mhm.
said.
But that's awesome. I love Mick. So
Oh shit!
that's going on sale on Tuesday as well.
Yeah, hold on, sorry,
Okay.
man.
What happened?
No, I closed the tab by accident.
No worries. I believe in you, Greg. You can do this.
I'm showing everybody all my top secret stuff, right?
Oh my goodness.
Uh, Auction
Uh-oh.
previews.
We just saw your
All right.
address and your credit card number.
Um, so
Oh wow.
here's a couple other few ones I want to show. So I'm excited.
You're
This
gonna
one's
have to
cool.
bring it
This
in
was
again. No, Greg, you clicked out of it. You're gonna have to go back in and present again.
oh,
Can you,
my bad.
no worries. It's our first
Oh, so
time doing
you
this.
you
We're gonna get better for each show we do.
all right.
There he goes. Okay, now click into that. There we go.
All right, cool. So, and I'm cool. I'm not ahead. You don't see my belly. Um,
I
so
haven't
this
seen
is
any of the
a
belly.
this is a
That's
type
crazy.
1 of Helen Keller. This was actually her third trip to Japan. So she really loved the Japanese people and was
Really?
had visited Japan before the war, and then after the war, and yeah. So this was during one of her trips. I think it was a third trip. It's a long story. I bought a large collection of Helen. I essentially bought the archive of the the servicewoman who um, was basically Helen Keller's like assistant um, during her trip. So
Okay.
these were all photos that were taken by more than likely the servicewoman that was in the army at the time, or the photographer, or probably the army photographer that she brought with them, or hired locally. Um, and so there was a couple. When I sold the archive, I kept. I think this was, yeah. I kept one photo of her because there were multiples of this photo, like maybe two or three, and I was like, I just think it's a really beautiful and like interesting story of Helen Keller, touching the face of this Buddha statue. It's just, I don't
Oh,
know.
that's not even a real person. That's a statue. Oh, I thought it was a person.
Statue. No, no,
Oh,
this is
wow.
her touching a statue, and I just think it's a really interesting and phenomenal image, and it's candid, but it's very professionally taken. If you understand what I'm saying.
No, it's artistically framed. It's framed perfectly.
Well, it's framed perfectly. It's contrast, but what I'm saying is it's essentially like no.
I mean, it's candid, but you can tell a professional
I need to
photographer
call
took
them.
the photo.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, all the lines are perfect.
All right. This is I told you I had some of the this is one of the Dalis. So
You
this
love
is
Dolly.
well, no, I told you I bought that collection.
Oh, you know, I know.
So this is this is a nice 1968 Dali walking in the street talking
Love
to
it.
some guard. You could see
You
it's
see the
got
wet stamp on there?
wet stamps of this is a I think
Archive, wet stamp.
Spain. Yeah, Spain. This this one I was actually surprised came back as a type 1. I didn't know. So this was part of
Well, you didn't think it
Alexander.
was going to come back at Type 1 or what?
I wasn't sure because it was part of a press kit, but because of
Okay.
the age of it and because of the artist. So it's an Alexander Calder who
Oh, yeah, you
was
told me
a
about this
famous
one.
sculptor.
Mhm.
He basically like created kind of like the mobile design. So this was him looking at a prototype.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you.
It was it was done for like a very small amount of press kits, so the photographer was probably involved in the like the agency that made it was probably like all in house type thing. So that's why it came back as a type 1.
Gotcha.
But it's really cool because it's like the artist looking at his art, and he's such a monumental artist.
Yeah.
This is probably if you want to talk about value.
And here's your sports one.
Yeah, this is one that I got recently. I mean, dude, this is like
And see all the wet stamps on there?
I hate
Because
to be
if you see the descriptions, they'll say about the wet stamps.
I hate to be a pun guy, but I mean this
Okay.
was literally a home run. You know what I mean? Not really a pun, but like, dude, this is Jackie Robinson,
54.
1954, crossing home base, beautiful photo, New York Times photo. This was a photo taken and used by the New York effing Times. Later ended up at some type of photo library.
That's
Has
crazy.
the typed caption on the back, and what a beautiful image of the man himself.
Now, do you remember where you
Jackie.
found this one?
Oh yeah. I got that from a dealer friend of mine who found it for me.
Jeez.
I'll go forward. Oh, here's a couple interesting ones. So, this is the first.
Woo.
This is
going to be in the hip hop?
This is the first snapshot photo so this is going to be this is a type 1 1990s Tupac Shakur snapshot photo.
Wow.
From somebody that was on stage. Like again, I love this kind of stuff. I love this size. I think
yeah, that looks like a regular like Kodak photo from like the 90s.
Yeah, and those type of photos of Tupac are rare because like you got to think like starting in the 90s there was like becoming less and less, like it was slowly going digital, you know what I mean? And here's the Public Enemy that I showed you. This comes back
that's
as
a type 3.
That's a type. Yeah, that's a
publicity photo.
It's a type 3. Yeah, 1987 publicity photo.
Oh, that's like one of their first years, right?
One of their first. Yeah, this is probably one of their first
publicity photos together.
Yeah, this
from
is
Def
like
Jam.
right when they. Yeah, it's got Columbia. This is like probably right when they did this joint venture or whatever. So, I even like how it has. I mean, it's got Professor Griff.
It's got another like old label. It's like their old logo too, just like the Friends logo I had.
Yeah. Oh, talking about
them on the subway in New York.
This is my first This is going to be my first cassette that I'm going to be auctioning through Heritage.
Well, I can't wait. I got to follow that one. You got to send me the link, okay?
Yeah. So this is a
follow all these.
This is an original
G.A.S from Wu-Tang, right?
GZA. Yeah, this is the 1995 release
I can't hear
of
you.
the Genius. Oh, hold on.
You're mute. Mute. Unmute the mic. Greg. He muted his mic, folks. Sorry about that. Let's see where he is. Oh, you see it right there? See your mic logo?
Now can
There
you
you
hear
go.
me?
Now talk. Yeah, see it right there? Okay, Greg is trying to figure. Oh, there he goes. There you go. What happened? You there? No, see? You're muted. You're muted.
Okay, there you go. Now you can hear me, right?
What's up, John? Merleworld Cards. Yeah, Greg's muted.
Can you hear me now? I can't. Now I'm still muted. I'm. Jesus Christ, this sucks.
Click the mic.
I did. It's undone. Look.
I can't hear you, Greg. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? You can't hear me?
Yes, I can.
I can't hear you. Your mic isn't on. Do it in your settings. Refix the settings.
Yeah. One second. Let's see.
Refix the settings on your audio.
Oh, okay.
Jacob says he can hear you both. I can't hear you. Let's see what's going on here then.
Hello?
Oh, you can hear both of us. Then it's me. Oh, wow. Okay.
You hear me?
Let's see here. Let me fix. Can you speak, Greg?
Can you hear me or no?
No, I can't hear him. It's so weird. Yeah, because it says
What about now?
it says it's muted.
Yeah. Like, look. You can't hear me,
Okay.
right?
What's weird? I can't hear you.
Jesus, dude. This is an angle.
Let me see if I can hear it here. Okay, let me. That's so weird.
Check, check, check.
Let me go back out and in. I'll be right back. Give me a second.
Okay.
Can you talk, Greg? Can you hear me?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Is anybody there? This is if you can hear me.
Now I can hear you. That was weird. I don't know what happened.
Sorry, guys. This is a lot of this is my fault. Merle's, I got to get my little setup going because I'm not really set up at home for this, so I need to work on my settings. So I apologize.
Yeah, we're gonna have because I got to do more shows with you. I don't know what happened there. That was weird. That was just.
Hey, since it's almost live, let me show a couple more.
Okay.
And
we got a late crowd that came in too.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, can you see my
Oh
screen?
yeah, let's bring head back into it again. Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
How the heck?
So we see everything now. So we see the Wu-Tang Clan cassette tape, AMG tape.
I know. I'm trying to. I don't know why I can't get to that screen though.
Well, you don't see it?
No, I can't. But I can't manipulate it. Like I don't have a. Hold on. Let me. How do I?
What do you want to do, Greg? Talk to me and I'll help you.
Can you hear me?
I hear you great, man.
I can't see the screen on my end. It's like compressed in the chat. Oh, view tab. That door. Okay. Liquid Swords.
How many gummies have you eaten tonight?
Yeah, too many. Classic hip hop. Classic hip hop album. Also got. Let's see. There's the Carrie.
And that's going to be on sale during the hip hop auction. Oh, there's the Carrie Fisher.
Yeah, there's the Carrie Fisher.
In that one. That's a great photo of her.
Yeah, so yeah, 1980s. Type 1, authentic. Yeah, great. I mean, just beautiful photo of
it's
her.
Like signed on her shoulders, it looks like, right?
Well, like when you're a kid too, right? You're like, if the first time you're seeing Carrie Fisher as like, like Princess Leia, it's like, you're like, wait, what is she like? Like, I think she's pretty, but I can't, it's like she's got this weird hair or whatever. And then like,
well, when Return of the Jedi came out in '83, I just turned.
Well, right. That's what everyone got.
I recognized her very well in that movie.
Yeah. So, yeah, these are, you're kind of seeing the back end. So actually some of these they just
go with it.
Actually, some of these have just been populated. So here's another snapshot that, I did. It's a, RFK. I think it's California. It's probably like a year or two before he was assassinated, but just like an interesting photo of him.
Is that John or Robert? I can't see.
That's Robert. That's okay. Robert. This one was a little strange. That's the one thing I think, that's one thing I don't think there's enough people sending. Snapshots? I think there's odds. Yeah, I don't think there's enough people sending snapshots right now. So like, they probably didn't have a smaller case. So it actually kind of looks kind of odd the way that it's.
And that's just taken from a bystander who was watching this on the side of the road.
Right. That's just, it's called vernacular photography. It's just.
Good to know. And that's a type 1.
Yeah, because it's a snapshot. I mean, it was essentially like someone took it, they took the film to the drugstore or whatever, and then they got the pictures back. And this is one of their.
Now,
pictures.
this is a crazy question. Like, what do you think the price of that? What do you think that's going to sell out at?
Okay, so this is something to me. This is like I'm experimenting with the market.
Of course.
Like I don't know, like. If a dealer, I don't know. I mean, to me, I think it should be a couple $100 photo. Right. But I don't know if it's going to get to be, but I think a nice snapshot of RFK, 1960s, like, clear image, it's an image, like you said, somebody that was just standing by, and they captured a really nice little snapshot in time. And I think it's a $200 to $300 photo. Will it go for that much? I don't know. It seems that a lot of people like the idea of collecting the, publicity or press photos because of the eye appeal, because they're so big, right. They're so bold. I would like it better if the case was built to fit the photo.
Yeah, it looks like it's loose in there, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's not loose because it's sort of like
it just appears that way, though.
It appears that way, and you can actually, if I should actually tell Heritage they should have done a photo where you could get that centered in there, but
yeah, I have to move that all the time.
This is a really nice JFK.
That's great portrait of him
before he was president.
Wow, yeah, he looks really young.
Yeah.
And what year is that?
It's I think 58.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, really young, nice, early Kennedy. These are some really nice
Barbara
Streisand.
Or Barbara Streisand's.
One with Alan Shepard. This is on the set of Funny Girl.
Yep, I can tell.
Like
photo.
I like the behind. That's, I like the behind the scenes stuff. I love that stuff, and I love it in that format. Humphrey Bogart, and
It's all your images coming soon.
coming soon stuff, and then this
Excitement.
this is
Okay,
a nice one.
who's in this photo?
This is Eisenhower, President Eisenhower.
There's a lot going on here.
It's opening day of a it looks like is it Twins and Orioles?
Could be. I don't know. Photo by Don Wingfield.
The other thing I like about the slabbing, and this is something I'm still sharing, right?
Right.
There's one more thing I want to say. The other thing is that you don't always find, just like old baseball cards or sports cards, you don't always find these photos in perfect condition. And so, when you look at it from the front,
no, they've been handled a lot because they were used for publication or for press.
Yeah, but if you kept handling this photo, you can already see that it has
browning,
and it has like these little rips and tears. But the thing I love about it,
they also have a lot of editorial marks on them too.
Yeah, but the thing is the image is here. This doesn't really distract, and if it does, and you only want perfect images, that's fine too. But I also think that that's one great thing about getting a photo like this slab, and because it's still a very like important political sports kind of crossover photo. And is it the best photo? No, I mean, there's a couple other ones, but it's a great, it is still one of those moment in time, photographs. So anyways.
Love it, man.
Yeah. So
that's so good. But the thing is, like I said, because of the editorial marks, which are used for, the photo in the newspaper, I think a lot of people like that. And that's why they don't give a photo a grade, because the more of the markings, the DNA, it tells even more of a story, and then also lets you know that that photo was actually used for press.
Oh yeah, that's the great thing about finding, if you find a photo with a date, and that's already giving you evidence that it's an original Type 1 photo. It might not. It could still have an early date or a period date and still be a Type 2 or Type 3, but it's dates. Finding a date is a nice find if you can find that on a photo, especially if you're trying to determine if it's an old photo or not, or if it's a period, or if it was an actual Type 1. And again, I'll just say this as both like a collector and I guess a dealer, is like, the only you have to touch the paper to know, to really get a feel for what the difference is too between an original Type 1 photo and later prints.
Oh, exactly, because the old, and plus the old photos were they used like real like paper, so the thick, it feels like paper. It's not glossy. I don't think they started doing glossies till like the 60s maybe.
Yeah, so it's like you basically have, I don't know, I lost my train of thought. Sorry.
The glossy versus like the paper texture.
Oh yeah. Well, I guess it depends. I just want to step back one thing that I said. Okay. Like, it only really, you need to know the feel of the paper if you want to get into finding photos and collecting them and then getting them slabbed. If you don't care, then you can I believe you can trust PSA that they know the difference. Like, yes, the what Henry Yee and team created there, I think is like very credible. And at the end of the day, the whole reason people slab anything is because we want to create a professional opinion that we can all agree upon, right? And if you can find that, then you either believe in it or you don't, and do people make mistakes? Of course. Mistakes happen with grading all the time. But you know what? PSA and the other reputable companies, like, they'll correct mistakes immediately. They all PSA and all the top grading companies, like, that's you have to have. No, I mean, that's the only thing you have to. It's like the world of John Wick. You know what I mean? You gotta have the gold coins. You know what I'm saying?
You seem to have a lot of gold coins, Greg, from my perspective.
But yeah, so but I think it's fun. I think we showed you guys some fun examples of collecting photography. Like I said, I'm collecting more photography and dealing in more photography than I ever have. I think it's just kind of like sort of a natural progression of like sort of where I am as like a collector and dealer. But I think this is a fun part of the of the collectible hobby and market, and it's sort of like, it's funny, right? Because the first trading cards were not sports cards, right? So trading cards have like a rich history that predate, and so some of the earliest types of images on cards were not sports, and so I think that, but I think just like how people that are into sports cards could be into non-sports cards and vice versa, right? Even if you're like, I mean, you're a big wrestling guy, right?
Mhm.
But I don't think you're that big into baseball, really.
No, I don't know hardly anything about baseball except for like the 80s.
Right, but it's like, but I'm sure like you wouldn't mind having like a fuck face card,
A what?
like the Billy Ripken fuck face card.
Oh yeah, yeah, I remember
that. But see, to me, like to me, like for guys like us, that's like a must own. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
that's like, because that goes into the stuff that we're into, the more wacky and the more kooky and the more pop culture and the stuff that,
That was
we're
like what was like the Eris Donner's card or something? Was that what that was?
the flare, the
Flair, okay, and he was one of them. The Flair, yeah. That was Carl Ripken's brother.
Yeah, Billy Ripken.
Okay.
So oh yeah, you're gonna show some of yours?
I'm gonna show us, and then we'll wrap it up, okay?
Yeah.
And then we'll because we got to make sure people make sure if you want that Elvis photo that Greg's been showing, put some bids on it right now. It ends Sunday night, and then the other ones he just showed you, the preview, those go on auction starting on Tuesday. Am I correct, Greg?
You're correct.
So put some bids on, folks, if you're into this. He's got some really good stuff, and I think these things will definitely appreciate in value. I can't guarantee you anything.
I'm not going to say
I have a good feeling about it. I'm
going to give the exact opposite advice.
What's that? Oh no!
Don't be. I'll just say this: don't spend more. If you're starting to collect in a new hobby, just like don't spend more than you have to lose, because like you can't, nothing is definitely going to go up in value, so you have to buy something, you need to be smart about your investment if you're buying it as an investment. And this auction's a really good place. I actually think there's going to be a lot of sleepers in here. Like,
I know, right?
I might watch out just for some to put some bids in on some things that are like way undervalued. So I think that I will say this, like, I'm curious to see, we predicted this could go as high as what? 2,000?
What's that? Your Elvis?
No, your Bikini Atoll.
Yeah, I mean, it's all over the place. Of course, Jeremy has high hopes. He's hoping for 10 grand. I hope he's right. I would do anything. But yeah, a couple thousand would be great.
This is it's a newer market.
You don't know what you're getting. It's like selling a one of one, like a superfractor. You just don't know. But it is at the right time for this market, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, it's topical. It's an amazing image. It's top notch. It's highly collectible.
Mhm.
Here's the thing. One thing that to learn about if you want to get into this part of the hobby is you need to also know what kind of photographs, if you're doing it as far as an investment, or you need to know what type of photos people outside of the PSA slabbing sports card fueled, that are not part of that hobby. Like, this photo is an expensive photo regardless if it's in plastic. You see what I'm saying? Like,
Yes.
this photo, let's say at like a high-end like book dealer, right? This could be $1,000 to $1,000 photo easily, $800 to $1,000.
Right. Raw.
Yeah, I'm talking like again, like, this is a new market that's being created. Like, we're talking very candidly, but I'm also telling people what these have been worth on the market, and that doesn't mean that.
And I love that. I love that you're on here.
Doesn't mean that they're not worth more now, because nothing. It's like before a Jordan rookie shot up to $250,000.
Right.
A year before that, you could have bought one on eBay for $25,000 or whatever it was, a year and a half, 2 years. You know what I mean? So
I'm gonna like jump the gun here. And I mean, look at this. I mean, if you notice here, if you see what the most popular one is right now, it's definitely, look at this. It's going to support the Mickey Mantle. This is their highlight one. This is the one they're showing on everything. Right. Obviously. And it's at $350,000. This is the Mickey Mantle,
the 51
Bowman, and also the 53 Tops photo.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the classic. I mean, it is the photo of his true rookie card. It's the qual. This is a situation too where the condition of the photo is also super important, because it's Mickey Mantle. Like, you want Mickey Mantle in any condition. Sorry, my dog is. I mean, you want Mickey Mantle in any condition, but at the end of the day, you want the multi-million. You want the $20 million mint mantle, right? I mean, like, if you're gonna have one, like, if you had a magical
genie, the 52 Tops one.
Yeah, if you had a magical genie and it's like, what's one of your wishes? And you're like, a Gem Mint 10, like 52 mantle. It's like, you're never going to go wrong on that wish. You know what I mean?
No, you can retire with it.
Yeah. It's like, that's currency. That's what, cards are. They're transactional, they're fractional currency. Obviously not legitimately. I mean, that's like, obviously that's kind of part of what a lot of like, sort of the hobby drama where, a lot of people, came into collecting as investors. And, it's like, but you have people that hate on it because they're like dudes who only think you can DJ with records.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, this part of the photo market is definitely becoming part of the investor hobby. And I think it has a lot of potential, because I think once people start to understand photography, understand what a Type 1 photo is, the fact that, these are original developed prints from the photographer, from the period. They were actually there. It's a moment in time. It's a time capsule. That's all the things. And then you have something like this where, I mean, this transcends all of that, because, this is the photo that was used for such a classic card, and, for arguably like the most famous, like, baseball player, like, in American history.
Well, a lot of people don't even realize this is also the same photo that's used for the 53 Tops. That's also an iconic card as well. Even though it's not his rookie card, it's a very famous card.
Oh, 100%. I mean, I think
people,
I mean, well, that's the thing, right? It has so much going
colorized.
for it.
They color the photo. They paint it
Yeah.
over.
It's phenomenal. It's
And
phenomenal.
then if you then we'll go back, and then here's another. This is not one of the photos used for the card, but this is also a 1951 portrait of Mickey Mantle. I guess it was a team photo that they used probably for calendars or whatever.
It's pre-rookie.
Yeah, and this one's at
beautiful.
10,500. This is the second highest auction bid right now.
This should be a $50,000 photo or more.
Yeah, like what do you think the that 51 tops bone or 51 Bowman photo is going to go for fetch at the end of the day? It's at 350,000 now. What do you think?
What is it after? What is it after the hammer?
Oh, let's see what it is. Let me go back then. Okay, give me 1 second.
You gotta consider that.
Is that the buyer's premium? It's 437.
So it's 437. I say after hammer, it ends somewhere between. I think like I'm gonna do a pretty big. I think 650 to 850. I'm hoping.
You think it's going to be under $1 million then?
I hope that it gets to $1 million, but I don't think it's going to hit $1 million. I think if it hits the highest, and obviously, I mean, people can watch this later, but I mean, I don't think it's going to end past 850 with hammer unless there's two people that really want it and it gets frisky at the end. Yeah. Because after 850, I don't know what the next bid would have to be at that level. I don't know if it's 860. Would it be 860, or is it like it might not go higher till after $1 million?
See, because Sports Card Professor 7 Orist, he asked the question, he goes, who is collecting the data to get comps of sales, even though type 1s are pretty much like a 1-of-1 superfractor? Well, it's just because
they're not. They
don't give out pop reports for these, but they do know that for the 51 Bowman photo that you see right here, there's only known 3 to be graded with PSA, or not graded, but authenticated. The same with the 52 Tops photo. They've only authenticated 3 they've known in existence.
Oh yeah, these are super, super scarce. Like
3,
these are
that's it.
You're never gonna find. I mean, this is gonna be like, this is like finding like the buried treasure in like, on Pirates Island or whatever. You're not.
Like, Greg, what would happen if you went to an estate sale and you found like one of these photos?
I tell my wife we're finally buying a house. I'd be like, I just found $1 million fucking
Would you be
photo.
shaking? Would you be shaking?
Yeah, a little. If I found $1 million photo at a fucking estate sale, yeah, dude, right. I'd be shaking. I'd be like fucking nervous that they would realize they priced it too low.
And what's your expectations for the Chaplin photo, for the crew photo?
I mean, I hope at least $1,500.
Yeah, I don't know. Photo, I definitely want over $5,000 for it. I may not get it. I'll still do well, but I feel like it deserves over that. Is it going to get it? I don't know. We will. Like you said, this is all new territory. I don't know if I'm going to get 1,000 or 100,000. I have no clue, man. At this point, this is my first time even selling photos at an auction.
Yeah, same with me, man. Like
I sold a couple on Goldin. I had that Jordan 1990 where he slam dunked it, and that one sold for 5,000 from 1990.
How much did it sell for?
5,000.
Yeah, see, dude. I would never. That's a really solid sale that you had, and I mean, look, I think that. Dude, I try not to be, I never like to be that guy. I never like to be on the either side of it, right? I'm not on like the fucking, collect just to make money or collect just for fun. I think it's got to be a bit of both, because I think part of the fun of collecting is also sometimes buying something and reselling it for more money so that you can, like,
we all want to flip stuff.
And you can use the money to buy because, also our taste change, or maybe, maybe there's a new player you want to collect, or maybe there's a new, type of photo you want to collect, or type of card. So, you're always trying to like, flip
Yeah, there's things you want to flip and there's things you want to keep.
Yeah.
And because you want to flip those things to get what you want.
And also too, we're human, right? And our taste changes. And as you get older, sometimes maybe the thing is, maybe some people it might only be 6 months. Some people though it might be they might have it for like 10 years, and then they're and then they're like, and then that's it. You know what I mean? So whatever.
Yeah, so as we notice here, a lot of the Marilyn Monroe photos that you said, like this is the one where she is singing to Kennedy "Happy Birthday," correct? So this one has a huge story to it, and that's why it's at $3,600 right now, or $4,500 with buyer's premium.
And I mean,
about stories, like it needs to have a story.
Well, look, and if you're gonna get a butt shot of anybody, you're gonna get a butt shot of of Marilyn Monroe singing "Happy Birthday."
Yeah, this is probably from the same collection. Probably the same guy submitted these. And here's Kennedy. You said this is him on his last day?
That's him on his last day. That is correct.
And probably in Dallas. And the Lincoln Continental convertible. Wow. Because I don't know if this was I hope it was your photo, but
no, that's not my photo.
Months ago, the one sold on Heritage, it was John Lennon's last photo. And it looks like a candid photo, and John Wayne
Mark David Chapman. Yeah, it's
like his last photo.
It's a photo of John Lennon signing a record for Mark David Chapman.
Really? And did a regular passerby take that photo, or was it?
It was John Lennon, man, and he lived at the Dakota. I mean, that's there was probably paparazzi out there all the time. I mean, it was probably just
they were out there waiting. Okay.
Yeah, dude, it was fucking John Lennon, man. That he was the biggest,
of course, I know,
biggest thing in the fucking world. Yeah, there's probably pictures of him every time he came out of his apartment. You know what I mean?
Do you remember how much that sold for?
I think it was around, was it 28?
Yeah. And I met the guy at the Dallas Card Show back in January who bought it. He was so happy. He was, because he knows that I'm into this, and so he wanted to share it with me.
What did he pay for it? Did he tell you, or is that a secret?
No, he bought it off Heritage for the 20. He bought it $28,000.
Honestly, I think he, I think that underperformed. I mean, I think that shows that art. Yeah, man, I think that could have been. Look, dude, $28,000 fucking dollars, a lot of money for a photo. But just considering, I don't know, maybe that's what it's worth.
Here's yours and mine right here. Here's my bomb. Here's your Elvis.
I know we're back. We're fighting back and forth.
I know, right? And here's that Captain Kirk photo I have that's autographed, but this one's just a regular Type 1 photo.
Yeah.
Let's go back to my list real quick so we can get you out of here. I know I don't want to hold you up. Let me go back to my consignments, okay? And then here's the Barbie one we were talking about. It's at $52.
Yeah, man. Look, this is you shouldn't expect to make too much money.
No, you know that.
This is you being you, and I love what you did here, and I think it was really
just dumb money to me.
Dude, I know. I just think if you want to push, it's a piece to push forward what you can do with PSA and Type 1 photos, and it's a great example of that. It's very topical. It's fun. It's when people talking about making collecting fun, this is the type of stuff for me that collects fun is thinking outside of the box and trying to come up with ideas for things that can be put into certain categories that can just push forward, the world of collecting, or whatever you call it,
And then this one went on auction right at the right time. Again, some more dumb money, but this one is of Oppenheimer in 1958 in Paris. Series.
Yep.
And they put that one on auction. It started the day after the Academy Awards, so I couldn't have been happier that they sent that. The same with the atom bomb.
I'm telling you, man, that's you already have in the realm of photography. like somebody that's already like this is okay. If you want to look at it as like this is promising to me because this is like an $80 to $100 photo,
Right?
Okay? Like and like retail, like from a dealer,
and that's how much I paid for it raw. Yes.
Yeah, that's like a good raw.
I will let everybody know here because there's 8 people watching. I will tell you. I'll spill this.
You never know who's going to watch this later. I
Eventually,
mean,
yeah. But still, I don't mind. I want people to know.
Yeah, but like this is an investment though because this is reacting to the market at the time. Like part of this is a business, right? Mm-hmm. So you have to be smart about it and you have to make calculated decisions. And so it's like, you getting the Barbie and the Oppenheimer was like perfect because it captured the moment. And I hope that whoever buys them both because it would actually be a really kind of
Oppenheimer.
It would be a really interesting.
I actually bought them that weekend, Greg. I bought them, like my girlfriend and I actually did Barbenheimer, but we saw Oppenheimer first because I needed to end with a comedy, not something serious.
Yeah.
So we started off with Oppenheimer on Friday afternoon, like around noon, and it was sold out. And then we saw Barbie that night.
Yeah, that would have been really fun. We unfortunately, like my wife and I, were not. We had in our schedules sort of like kind of conflicted during that time, but we did.
Well, luckily, my girlfriend was off that. And here's my my surprise one that's doing well, really well. All of a sudden, like it was like at $20 until this week.
No, dude, that's a very nice spacewalk. My buddy has that one. I actually,
really,
yeah, it was funny. He actually was trying to, I think, get raw. He was trying to get like $900 out of it. So it's a good photo, man. It's
color.
It's color. It's the first
background.
It's the first space. It's the Ed White. It's the first U.S. spacewalk. It's a very, very important image. To me, it's as important as Neil Armstrong on the moon. It's not as iconic. It's not as iconic, but it should be as iconic. I mean, it's a very important photo. And it's a good one, man. And I hope it goes for, I hope it goes for like a couple. I hope it pops and goes to a couple grand. I mean, I don't know.
Oh, I hope you're right, but I was not expecting that. It was a slow mover, and all of a sudden it just like shot up the last few days. So
I don't know if it's gonna go past $1,000, but I'm hoping that it does.
I'll be happy. I mean, I got a good price for it, and like this one I bought for like nothing. This is just like silly money here. I paid nothing for it. I took a risk. It came back at Type 1. I'm not going to get the money like I did for the first spacewalk. I guess this was the last moon landing one.
Well, I mean, look at it this way. Would you buy and send in a photo like this again?
Probably not.
Exactly. So this
spacewalk I would. Would you?
What's that?
The spacewalk one I would.
I'm saying, like, it's cool that we're like, I mean, you're constantly learning about, because at the end of the day, if you're going to be a dealer, right, you need to experiment with the market, but you also need to give the people, you also need to read the market and see what people are in. I mean, we're doing something obviously that's not a lot of people do, which is trying to, kind of create more of a market by the things that we send in. And I've noticed that now, I've noticed more things popping up, and with the heritage auctions, it's amazing to see what people are submitting, because there's some really cool stuff.
I agree. I find that fascinating, not just what I have and how it does, but I love seeing what else is being listed on the auction sites with photos as well, and what's selling. I love following the other people's photos too, like yours and others that are unique to me.
Yeah. And I think as time goes by, I think if Heritage continues to do these auctions, you're going to see much more refined auctions, and you're going to have these more showcase auctions. And then I'm hoping, my idea, or like, to me, it would be awesome if they started doing like and I don't know if maybe they already do, and I don't know, but if they started doing like Type 1 premiere auctions or some of their like, like their once a year, they're kind of like platinum sports auctions where they kind of do like, best of the best high end stuff. It'll be really cool if it can get to that as well.
Now, this one, I never even knew it wasn't labeled this way. And I was like, why is this photo? Because before they started describing what it was, I was like, why is this one getting, I know it's the moon, but why is it getting so many views on it? And the reason is because it's the man in the moon. Do you see it?
Yeah, it's a great photo,
they call it the face of the moon, but it's really the man on the moon. And Wes, I wish I could do the drawing or whatever. Wish I could do a circle around. Oh, I can, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, here it is. Whoops. Oh no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Cancel. I'm scared.
Don't worry about it.
Okay, so let me. That was my first time. I don't want to screw it. And then this is one of my prize ones. Greg, you would be proud of me for finding this one. This is the one I need like Greg's approval. Like he loves the historical stuff.
No, dude, Thomas Edison. Are
you proud of your boy Merle?
I'm very proud of you, Merle. Thomas Edison is not an easy find.
No, 1916 too.
It's the
Illuminati.
Edison is very highly collectible, especially any image of. He's like an Einstein, in the sense of like he's out there, but it's not an easy photograph. And
think about it. He's the one who invented film. Come on.
Well, yeah. Well, basically,
or the movie, the filmmaking.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Because he needs electricity to start that camera. But man, yeah, I'm hoping to do very well on this one. This one's already getting a lot of views. It's like 78, and it's just starting on Tuesday. Yeah. This is my oldest one I could find of Prince in 1981. I love my Prince. He's my favorite.
Yeah,
I collect a lot of Prince. And this is him in London. And then I love this one. I can't wait to see how this one does. This is
great.
Reed Superman 2, Type 1. And I don't know you, but most kids my age back then in 1980, 10-year-olds had this same photo as a poster on their wall. Almost everybody did.
Oh, dude, it's so iconic. I mean, it's I think someone's gonna be really happy with that to add that to their collection.
This one of McCartney, they kind of screwed up. They put 1980s, but I was like, wait a minute, this is when he was in Wings, and the label is wrong on here. I don't know what's going to happen, Greg, but they put like 80s, and it's actually 76.
I thought Wings was 80s.
Wings is 70s. He was already solo back by 79. Or it was actually Wings with Paul McCartney, but by that point it was actually just Paul McCartney.
But it has a wet mark on the back, has a wet stamp on the back of 76.
I don't know. No, it doesn't. It just has it doesn't have a date stamp unless it's really.
It says it in the description.
I know. That's what I'm like all confused about.
Wait, so what is
the thing the reason I bought this photo raw because. And that's another thing. I knew who took this photo. It was his wife, Linda McCartney. And that's why I bought the photo.
And so what's your concern?
I knew that. Because the description on Heritage is different than the label from PSA.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yes.
So PSA could have messed up.
See that? Look at that.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, that's a tough one because...
I'll let them deal with it, not me.
Yeah, right? I mean, you might want to tell them, and you might honestly want to pull it and just have them resubmit it because it's not long term. It's not going to be worth it because it's like someone else's. And if it's correct, I mean, you might as well try to just do it now, or see what they say at least, because like you don't want to just leave it up there and then have to give it to the. Because then the next person is going to have to try to deal with it.
So I can do this, like contact us and let them know that I'm a little worried about it.
PSA should actually fix that for free. They shouldn't charge you if that's their mistake.
And then, like you said, storytelling. This is one of my favorite photos that tells a lot. There's a lot of shit going on here. There's a lot of story. And actually, this is Van Halen, but with Sammy Hagar, 1988. with the Scorpions at Universal Studios promoting the Monsters of Rock tour in March of '88. But I love all the monsters, and you even see like King Kong in the back there. You see
know
him?
what? This I'm gonna get really nerdy here, but like this is what I call what the industry calls a cross collectible. Okay.
Yeah.
And I love cross collectibles. So cross collectible means that this goes into two distinct markets, or three, right? You got photographs, you have four. You got photographs of rock stars, and then photographs of
balloons. Look at that. Did you do that? Did you fart?
I must have. But
that's awesome.
There's, so this would appeal to people that collect monster stuff as well.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So like horror or Universal movies, and then music memorabilia, and then photos.
80s, all that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, do you see King Kong in the back? He's holding the microphone. King Kong is.
That. Oh, yeah.
Let's see if you.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't. As somebody's asking about the Type 1 hockey, I don't remember seeing any.
I'm sure they'll do that on another date. So just
that's a really fun photo, man. I hope.
Yeah, thank you. But again, like you said, like someone has to tell a good story. This one I just kind of fooled around with. I just thought it was cool because it was Type 1 of Seinfeld and Elaine, and in the famous diner that they were always at.
It's a great shot. It's on set,
Yeah.
It's like, again, it's the onset. It's the onset photographer who was taking the still images for the press.
And then of course U2 with being at the Sphere, and this is their Joshua Tree was their landmark, year in the US.
Most famous.
This is him at the LA Coliseum performing the third leg of Joshua Tree, as you can see, Bono. So I felt like I needed to send that, hurry up and get that to auction, since they are so topical, since they were at the Sphere all year. Let me do one more, Greg, and I'll let you go. Okay.
Okay.
Is that cool?
Yeah, that's fine.
You can give your conclusion. Share a screen here. Where is it? An account. Okay, there it is. Share. Okay, I think that's right. Does that work? Okay. So this is my golden. This is my golden one, real quick. There's just a couple of them, so I just wanted to show it real quick. To show like what they look like on different.
I love the Bill Gates, man. The Bill Gates is great.
So this is this one doesn't have bids. These end next week in 7 days. So next Saturday on the April 13th.
Yeah.
This went into their elite auction, so they all started off at 100, whereas Heritage starts, I think, most of their bids at $10. Is that correct?
I think no. It's all showcase auction starts at $1.
What, for Heritage?
Yeah, it's a dollar with a hammer, a minimum hammer of like 51. You got to pay $50. So yeah, no, something could sell for literally $1.
And I've had photos with Goldin that start off maybe like $1 or 10, but this one's elite, so the starting was at 100. Like my Michael Jordan, the slam dunk one I sold for $5. I think that was like super elite or something, because that one started off at 1,000 with $100 next bid.
Well, that's a delicate balance. You really have to be careful. I had some. When I first started doing the showcases auction with Heritage, I was a little disappointed, but I also realized that I think what I was doing was I was submitting some of the wrong stuff for showcase. So you do have to be careful about that, because you do have to realize with the showcase stuff, that 300 or that whatever it's that 400,000 mantle photo that started at $1.
Right.
Obviously it's not going to end at $1, but I mean, like, that's the,
sometimes that's even could help better, because it gets people in a like bidding. Well,
that's you're hoping for action. You're hoping that at least two or three people want it bad enough that they'll keep going. I personally, I hate the extended time. I mean, I'm not the type of person who would want to wait up to like, 3 a.m. to win something.
Right.
But I mean, the numbers can jump pretty quickly. So it's, with auctions, you never know, obviously.
No. And so you said you like this Bill Gates one?
Dude, Bill Gates, I mean, look, tech, like, dude, like a Bill Gates is like a Thomas Edison of our time.
Really?
Yeah, dude, he's just one of those. He's a person that, with his knowledge and his technology, he's changed the world. I mean, like what he did for, computing. Like him, Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos. Modern titans. I mean, these are the people that, just like we know who Thomas Edison is from 100 years ago, in 100 years, people are still going to know who
The
Bill
tech
Gates
pioneers.
is. Yeah, they're going to know who Bill Gates is. Like,
They're
everyone's
going
going
to know who Steve Jobs is, and
Yeah,
Jeff Bezos,
in 100 years,
and Elon Musk.
in 100 years, people are going to know who Elon Musk is. You know what I mean? It's like,
Right.
that's, when you're collecting or you're thinking about investing, you got to think about those things too. Think about why, will people always know who this is? Is this always going to be kind of an important thing? And and just the idea of him signing an autograph for a kid, it's a great,
I know, it's such a welcome.
and also because he is a pretty, he's a pretty questionable relationship with a lot of people that
I'm sure, yeah. Don't they all these days?
Well, I mean, people that
You know what I like? You know what I like about this photo? Which is they also did with the first spacewalk that they used. What's it called? The Blaupunkt camera, the square camera.
The Hasselblad.
Is it the Hasselblock? Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, the medium format camera,
which is one of my favorite.
Yeah.
It always looks much better. The photo does.
They're incredible. I mean,
Hasselblock.
People that were able to master that type of photography, you can get some really great shots.
You can tell by the square of the photo.
My wife actually used to shoot medium format in college. Yeah.
Oh wow, yeah, that's one of my favorites.
Actually, dude, I have some tight photos of me that she took from college.
Oh, you're gonna slab them?
Yeah, baby.
Now this is interesting. I want to show this to you real quick because this is a I think like an 8x12 photo or 9x12. So it couldn't get slabbed, but I have the so it came with a letter instead.
Right.
Yeah, 8x12. So I think
see this is where
and it's a color photo, but
yeah, see this is weird. This is where I get like I'm almost like, what's the point of the letter?
To show that it's authentic.
I know. I just to me the slab is what makes
you want that yeah, but it's 8x12. I mean they are making now slab or CGC's slabbing movie and concert posters now, which is crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
have you had that done yet?
I haven't. No, I haven't got any posters graded. But I did actually just get a big. I just got a bunch of pulps back from CGC. They just started.
You're gonna have to show that to me, really.
Yeah, they just started grading pulps a few months ago.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I have to see one of those. You have to share with me.
I'll share it with you.
But of course, this is why I gave this one to if you notice, a lot of the people that gave the Goldin, the subjects are people that are like from New York area, because I felt like they would market them better because they're New Yorkers or people from New Jersey. So Howard's from New York. Goldin's based out of
I like Goldin. I do like the fact that is this part of a Type 1 auction they're doing?
It is, yes.
Okay. So yeah, I mean it's going to be interesting.
Color. So the rarity, that's a Howard Stern photo from '93, and they said here they even put in the height of his fame and influence or private parts. Fart Man and the pay-per-view Miss Howard Stern New Year's Eve pageant, which I saw all that stuff back then.
Yeah, I remember the Fart Man. Yeah, dude, it's a cool.
Billy Joel. I got him. This was at the Boston. The Bill Gates was at the Boston Computer Museum. Oh, here's Bruce Springsteen, who's from New Jersey. So I had to get that in there. That's already got 2 bids at
Dude,
$150.
I got a nice one. Wait till you see.
Really?
I got a really early photo of him in the band, like a Type 1, like might have been like one of the earliest like it might a very early group photo that I found. But yeah, that's a great one though, with the fist.
Yeah, well, you know why I bought that one, right, bro?
Why?
Because that's the Bruce Springsteen that I grew up with.
Oh, dude, that's the most.
I knew all about him, but I was 15 years old. That's when I started buying all his old records, really getting into it. That's Born on the USA, Dancing in the Dark. So he was big time on MTV. And
oh, dude, that's. I mean, you can hear that photo.
Yeah,
you can hear that photo. It's
exactly right. That's why I got it. And I think that's why we try to communicate with the viewers and the listeners that we want that story told again to us, so we can reminisce through it. Correct?
It's nostalgia, man. Everyone, that's what
nostalgia.
People collect nostalgia.
And then let's see. Finally, I got one more. Oh, I got 2 more here. Here is Elvis Presley kissing cousins.
I love that.
And I love this one because he just looks like a player with 2 ladies in the hay, rolling the hay.
Remember, this is on-set still photographer that took this photo.
It's a what?
This is another on-set photographer.
Okay.
This is a person that was on set as the film was being made. Like and I mean, you know this, but I'm explaining to people that might not know. It's like when the shot is set up, it's the still photographer's job to go in and take some shots. Mm-hmm. And so this is like, and like you said, like all film is multiple shots, it's
mm-hmm. moving
the moving images. So, essentially what you're seeing is as close, this is a film shot on set at the time right before action, or right when action's called, or who probably not when action was called because the cameras had been too loud, but before the director yelled action, the person was in there and took some shots. So that's
during rehearsal too.
Yeah, also during rehearsal. So, but again,
that's what it says here, which I didn't even know that Goldin filled in this information. It says it's a promo shot.
Well, it was used for a promo shot.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's yeah.
And then let's see here. And then finally, hold on. Yeah, finally I've got this one, which is great. Another Seinfeld one, which is from 1990.
I mean, that's a rookie Seinfeld show image. That's great, man. I love it. I love what you're finding and what you're putting out there. I think it's really fun, and
I just love the artwork of this one too. Just that it's on a simple like white.
Well, and it's expanding what's fun about the sports collectible hobby. It's buying the rookie card, right? And so we're extending the rookie into pop culture, into people that we enjoyed and everybody enjoys. It's just it's a non-sports, but it's a fun market to be in.
Exactly. So I saw that one. I was like, you know what? I have to get it. I didn't even care if it was. Had no clue. This was one of the first photos I bought. I didn't know if it was a Type 1, 2, 3, or 4. Yeah. I just took a risk of it because it said Seinfeld Chronicles, and I was like, man, still nostalgic.
It's a great one, man. Well, hey, really before I left, the guy had I was gonna oh god, I look like fucking floating head.
I got you.
Sports card professor. I said that
question you want to
CGC just started grading pulps.
Where was it? Oh, what was it? Okay, yeah. What was it that CGC just started grading again?
Pulp magazines.
And let people know what pulp magazines are.
So pulps. So like you think of the movie like Pulp Fiction, right? So pulps were, they predated. They were like crime stories, horror stories. Some of the most classic, science fiction and horror writers were first published.
And then they have a lot of like pinup girls in them too, between the magazines.
Well, more importantly, it was the writers like Ray Bradbury, H.P. Lovecraft, George Orwell, all these people that were just classic, science fiction writers, right? And some of their most popular appearances. But then to sell the magazine, you need to make a shocking image. So some of these images, like by like guys like Norm Sanders or who's the woman, Margaret, I don't know, sorry, it's late, but
okay.
But some of the covers, they're so fantastical and beautiful, and the whole kind of golden age, especially of horror, got really popular over the past few years, and a lot of it was because of the cover art. And so I think people have been recently getting into pulp, but I mean, like, dude, like some, golden age of comics is like the 50s, right? These paintings were being done in the 20s and the 30s.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Magazines are that old?
Oh, yeah. I mean, most of the pulps that are highly collectible are from the 30s and 40s. So they predate the golden age of comics. But the thing is when you open the pulp, there was no images inside. It was only it was stories. But again, I mean, in a pulp, it could be the first time that's the first time like the story of I, Robot appeared, was in a pulp magazine, or the first appearance of like Tarzan, or like Buck Rogers, or like The Shadow. They all appeared in pulp magazines. And then he asked another interesting question about the photo plates. And I just
let me see that. Sorry, here
to answer that.
Yeah, we're gonna ask, why are the photo plates of trading cards not considered much as collectibles?
So I think what I think the real question you might be asking is, why aren't they why isn't the value? I think that they're very collectible, but I think that the value isn't there primarily because of eye appeal, because
they just look like used tools that were made from a
plate, and especially in this day and age, it just doesn't, to me. I think it's cool because, like, again, it just becomes a very sort of like niche, like, kind of like you have to appreciate the fact that it was used to make the card, but there's not a lot of people that are going to think that deep about it, and that's really what it is. But
all right, well, let's wrap it up.
I thought that was an interesting question, though.
It was. Whereas, thank you. He's always asking some good questions. He's always on the show Between Two Slabs. And Greg, any last words?
Sorry, I saw the one question where he was like, "Is it possible to take a type 1 photo and generate?"
You want to go there? So I'm sorry, my bad. The Sports Card Professor 7. Is it possible to take a type 1 photo and generate a so-called type 5 photo?
Yeah,
no, not really. No,
I don't think so. I think that's trying to be like, can God create a rock so heavy he can't pick up?
Oh, that's a good analogy.
Man, no, like, look, dude, I really have fun doing these. I think I know this was kind of a sort of last minute thing that we decided to do, with
make people aware that these things are being on auction, and what's going on and what they're about. We're trying to educate people.
Yeah, and so look, man, I think hopefully the few people, maybe some people watch this later, hopefully we can do more of these, and I'll get a nice little setup and be a little, I'll be more prepared. But yeah, dude, look, man, this is.
And what do you think your Elvis is going to sell out? What would be your minimal happiness?
Oh, dude, I'm already happy. I think.
Okay, that's all I need to know.
Yeah, but I mean, look, I would like it. I would love to get around, I'd like to get at least $800 for it.
Oh, I think you will.
We'll see. I mean, it's at 4, so I got it.
But again, it's like the second or third most watched item on there. I think people are just holding out right now till the last minute.
Look, I'd love to get $4,000 for it.
Is this your first? Have you already sold photos on auctions already? in the past?
A couple, yeah, but this is
What
like
was your best one? May I ask?
You know what? I honestly can't remember. But it was it was a I don't remember. I did have a really cool like, kind of how you're see, I think this was a little too esoteric. It was like
Okay.
the Polaroid that you had of Three's Company.
Yeah.
I had a Polaroid of the Millennium Falcon.
Ooh, what?
That was probably done. It was the same kind of thing. It was done on set. I think I only got that didn't go. That was kind of a bummer. I think it only went for maybe like $150 or $200 or something. And
when was this? I wish you told me. I would have outbid it, man.
This I have to check. This was sometime last year.
Oh, okay. Before I really got into it.
Yeah.
Right.
So
see, you should have held on to it for a while.
yeah, look, man, sometimes
yeah.
This was like that was like some I've learned a lot over the past year or two about dealing with like a heritage and I'm trying to build I am trying to build a relationship with them because I do think that they're a good auction house. I do think that they really do a lot to Goldin as well. I mean, look, this is not a pitch. We just happen. I mean, I don't have
No, this is just us talking about. We're not
I haven't
or loving anybody more. We're just telling our own experience.
Yeah, and I mean, I've sold
everybody.
I've sold on Goldin. I would still sell on Goldin. I think.
Have you used other auction houses?
So I've used Goldin. I've had nothing but positive experience with them. I think they're very, very professional. I just recently sold something on R&R for the first time. A signed John McGraw autograph. I'm gonna have actually some pulps. Some of the nicest pulps that I've collected over the past few years are going into an auction with PBA Galleries in September.
Who's that? PBA Galleries?
PBA, yeah, they're doing.
They specialize in stuff like this, like books.
Yeah, they actually have a really interesting auction coming up of a guy who collected every DC comic release from like the beginning to like into the 80s or 90s. So like really like pre Superman, like, but including we had the biggest sale yesterday of a comic ever, $6 million, 8.5 pedigree, Action Comics #1. So that's going to be in the sale. I don't think it's going to be an 8.5, but it's going to be a big book. It's like everything. It's like everything DC ever put out. So
right.
They do that's one thing that they're good at is they get like really crazy collections.
Oh wow. PBA,
yeah. And so
that one.
Actually, I have Brundage cover.
Wow, I have never even heard of these, man. Wow, you're
classic. Yeah, I have the classic Batgirl that's being the Batgirl. I've been holding on to it for about 7 or 8 years now. A 6.0, I think a 3.0 just sold on Heritage for 12. I think 12. I think a 6.0 just sold for like 33,000. So I'm hoping that mine hasn't come back yet because I did the grading through them. I'm hoping that mine gets a 4.0 and that will be about a $15,000 book.
Oh wow, let's hope, man. Please keep this up.
Yeah, I paid $1,200 for it about 8 years ago, and I think it's worth about $15,000 now.
So you're pretty much telling the viewers and listeners, like, it's important if you're gonna send stuff out to auction to know your auction houses and what they specialize in or what they market better for. Like everything can be different.
But yeah, but like PBA was to me, PBA's experiment. I mean,
Of course.
because Heritage does really well with pulp. I mean, I might actually.
So
But the
what
thing,
made you send it besides just the experiment? What made you?
well,
What drew you to them?
well,
to
the
try
guy that runs PBA was actually introduced to me by a friend that's currently passed away. So he was somebody that introduced me to him, and I was going to do some horror comics, and he was looking for that classic cover that I told you. So like, here's the thing, right? Here it has just sold multiple copies of this cover, but he was like, he offered me to have it be the cover of the catalog if I would consign it. So I'm consigning it because it's also going to be cool for me because it's a classic book that's going to be on their cover. And I think it's going to go for a lot more than they thought. I think they're estimating it at 8 to 10. I think we're doing it at 8 to 10 or 6 to 8. But I think with the current auction, with what we've seen now, I think it's going to be like a $15,000 book. I'm hoping.
Jeez, wow! I hope you're right, man. Where are we going? Where are you taking us after that? Oh my goodness! So, Greg, as you see, guys, Greg, he collects a lot of great things. He invests in a lot of great things. I'm sure we're going to probably do more live streams on other types of auctions because this guy has an eclectic hobby collection.
Yeah, and I'm also throwing it out there. Like I think I'm gonna start doing like a whatnot channel soon for more raw photographs and paper. So we'll have to talk about that.
Speaking of, you're setting up at some places this weekend, right?
Oh
If people
yeah,
are
I'm actually
in the California area, what's going on?
Watching this, I guess, and wants to see some of the stuff I sell. I'm going to be set up at the Bleecker Street West store in Santa Monica.
Okay. And
so yeah, they're actually doing an event. This is the first of, I think, for the rest of the year, the first Sunday of the month. They're going to be curating different dealers at the store and different people. So this is their first, this Sunday is their first one. So
Bleecker Street this Sunday in Santa Monica. What's the times?
It's from 2 to 8.
From 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. That's a late show. Wow. Okay, I'll come there before WrestleMania starts.
Yeah, come before WrestleMania. I'm gonna bring a few. What are
you gonna bring?
I don't know. Stuff like you bring, but
you can bring everything to this event.
Yeah, it's my table, so I don't know, but I think I'm gonna bring a mixture. I'm gonna bring some sports cards. I'm gonna bring some music cards. I have a couple ticket stubs. I'm thinking about bringing some raw Japanese ticket stubs.
Okay.
Advanced movie ticket stubs, like some cool ones, like things like what do I have? Like Back to the Future, Home Alone, like Indiana Jones, Terminator. And the Japanese tickets are cool because they're the size and stuff, and you can get them slabbed and whatnot. So yeah, man, it should be fun. I don't do that much in-person selling.
No, you don't. Yeah,
but I do. Huh?
Said, how'd you find out about the Bleecker Street? I've never even been there.
Yeah, my buddy had told me about it. So he asked me if I wanted to do it because he knows that I have. He's always trying to get. Whenever he does events, he's always trying. My friend Nick, he's always trying to get. He knows that I have a very eclectic and. He works at PSA too, so he likes the fact that I push what they like the kind of stuff that they do.
Gotcha.
kind of like what we're doing, because I like kind of I think it's interesting to sort of push to see what else you can kind of get, kind of put into this marketplace.
Well, let's keep doing this because, like you said, our auctions for this round in Sunday, and we've got more coming up on Tuesday. And I'm like you said, we've got probably tons more coming up in the next. I think Jeremy Allen of Heritage said they're going to have a Type 1 photo sell like every 6 weeks now for the rest of the year.
Yeah, they're gonna have a lot of sales. It's gonna be interesting.
Themes like entertainment themes. There's gonna be a hip hop one starting the end of this month too. I know you've got, like you said, you've got a lot of stuff, and I've got a lot of stuff in that one. Not just photos, but you've got music memorabilia too.
I got my Liquid Swords AMG graded tape, which is a nice one. I got to remind Robbie because I think he actually, when I sent that off, he was like, I kind of need that. And so I was like, I put it in the auction. So he might have to bid on it.
They've had my stuff graded. They've had my stuff there now for 3 months. And I just emailed them what the hell, what's happened. And they were like,
oh, dude,
a new area.
Well, look, man, there was kind of like, I saw early on that AMG was going to be the one. I mean, they're kind of, Steve Aoki, I mean, he's a big name and he's a nerd, he's into this stuff. He's not just some like celebrity that like, is like, this is my thing. I mean, he's like, if he's behind something, he's behind it. And so, and they also, they come from the C.A.S. family, which has been doing amazing work in the action figure community. And with really high quality acrylic and really great displays. And so anyways, man, I got to kind of wrap this up.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to show, Will. This is why I wanted to send it off quick. Give me 1 second and we'll bid a do. But this is the reason I want to send this one in. I just picked this up. So
what is that? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. That's
the prints from Japanese label.
I always forget what those little strips are called.
It's just their label that they have to sell when they go.
There's like a special name.
Yeah, what's it called? It's like
can't remember.
A stash or something, but I don't know what it's.
Yeah, that's a beautiful record, man. Yeah,
I love Prince, so I had to get. I saw that online.
I have a couple big records I haven't sent off yet. I have a
sealed when I come over.
I have a sealed white album.
Dang.
And I also have a sealed original Pet Sounds.
Ooh, wow. Beach Boys. Wow. Impressive.
But then I also have some other fun stuff. I have like the first Chili's album with the Gary Panther art.
Wow, that's a good one.
Yeah, so I have some fun ones that I need to send off.
Well, Greg, thank you. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do the show. Give your last minute plugs. Where can we find you on Instagram or wherever?
Oh, dude, Greg Mishka, Greg's Fun Shop, Greg's Fun Photos.
He's got one for everything. You got a new Pulp Fiction site now too.
No.
Music, everything. So, Greg, thank you. We'll do this again. We'll follow up and see how our auctions did, and we'll discuss it, and then see how our future auctions do. How about that? You'll come back on again, and we'll do it.
Good, man. Yeah.
Anytime. All right, everyone. This is Merlin. Make sure if you're on the Great Curators channel, make sure you go to Merleworld Cards. Subscribe to me on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, eBay, whatever. And if you're on my channel watching the show, make sure you go to Great Curators channel, subscribe, like, smash that bell button. We're also going to have this on podcast. The links are below as well, where you can listen to this if you're in your car or working out or whatever you're doing. So you don't have to watch it. You can listen to it. And I'll be back on Tuesday with Between Two Slabs with Spidey Hits. We'll be talking about Marvel cards. So, Greg, I want to thank you again, and I'll see you again soon, buddy. Bye-bye, everyone.
You're such a dork, man. That's why I love you, bro.
I love it, man. Bye-bye.
Bye.